Good evening and welcome to the real. It's
So like two teams with that movie. It seems like either people love it or they hate it. Okay, I do too. I do too.
Yeah. BlackGirlMarvel.
I cried laughing. That was hilarious.
Tylermakesfilms.
It's meant for us to kind of contemplate. Like, I don't think his response to me is completely appropriate. Like, it makes sense that he would react that way.
Allthemoviethings.
I think the thing why I enjoyed it more too was the fact that we were going to talk about it from this perspective.
The pre-review with Biggie.
The pre-review is where I tell you about upcoming movies coming to movie theaters and beyond.
And me, the real study movie voice guy.
I probably would have been in love with this movie as well if I had watched it earlier, like when it came out, or maybe right after.
Let's go to the poster wall.
I'm so excited.
Welcome to The Real Study. This is season 2, week 35, and this is actually going to be the season finale of The Real Study for this, well, not this year, but this season. We follow the school year, if you will. BlackGirlMarvel is here. She'll be back momentarily.
She's right behind you.
She is. She's right there. We are going to do an all horror evening, as we've been talking about all week. But before we do, we of course have our always present announcements. Social media, we are now everywhere, and you will soon find us on Threads even, which is of course the new big social media, heyday. Everybody's loving Threads. I don't think any of us have stopped for the last 3 days. That said, we also have our Twitter still, YouTube, which we're obviously here on, TikTok, Twitch, etc., Instagram. We have them all, so please follow us there. And look, we're getting her back. Hello. Awesome. All right, so we've got Law coming back in. I'm gonna have to add her though, because it didn't add her, but that's okay. So we also have some news this week, being the final week of The Real Study for the summer. There are of course still some more movies that will be showing up as the summer progresses, but you guys can check your own movie news, I think, over the summer. So the the movies tonight are going to be House LLC, a found footage film from 2015, Bodies, which is a 2022 A24 horror film, and then of course the sixth film in the Evil Dead franchise now, or fifth film and a TV show. So we'll be covering all those. Check out a special summer edition of The Real Study. You might find me and Mr. Marvelite going off about Guardians of the Galaxy as we go. We might even do another episode as the season progresses, but
which you can get on digital now.
Right, you can get on digital now.
Oh, is it out?
Yeah,
it's partially out. It's not on Disney Plus yet,
right?
But
it's not streaming yet,
right?
But you can download. Right. You can buy the digital version now. There
right,
we go.
100%.
Guys.
So we do have our news. We'll be right back.
Now it's time for the real news.
So this week we've got not a lot of news. We've got a little bit of news. If I get over here to the news channel, we've got some big faces coming back to Marvel for the Deadpool 3 movie. A ridiculous number of people, it seems. Like a worrisome number of people. Unless they do like a X-Men First Class like scene where they just kind of cram everybody into a room. Okay, I can handle that, but yeah, they were there for what, 5 minutes? Like, yeah. So if it's like that, cool. If they muddle it up, we might be in trouble. True. That's very true. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I'm hoping that they do like a Deadpool kills the universe, like nod at least, where he maybe hits some either other movies that are not like maybe some Fox titles that aren't Marvel. Would be great to see him accidentally show up in a couple of movies and kill people. Right. They what?
Him, they can't hear him.
Not sure what was going on there. Okay. Well,
Can you hear me now?
I think they can hear you now. I'm not sure why things didn't work, but this
and they
is the
said
real
they
study.
can't hear Law either.
No sound, Brian. No sound, Law. No sound. Well, you can hear them all now. I promise.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I promise.
I promise.
It's a snippet guarantee.
It is.
Snippet guarantee.
So
I am loving all the stuff on social media though about like I did one too where I posted that Jeff Bridges is going to be back, but he's going to play Obadiah Stane and the dude in Deadpool 3. So there's been this thing where people are like making a joke of like all these people that aren't going to be in it, but so.
I'm just excited that Jennifer Garner's going to be there. I loved her as Elektra. I like Elektra as a movie.
Yeah, I hope.
I know it's kind of. I know it's kind of separate from like, but I loved her in that. And I love her as an action star. So I'm just happy. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, she get to do some like karate kicking or something. I just want to see her do stuff. I love her.
That's a good segue. You said Jennifer Garner, which made me think Alias, which is of course J.J. Abrams, and there is now, of course, more information about J.J. Abrams coming out with a Hot Wheels movie, which I'm hoping is as over the top as it should be. Like it needs to be big wheels and like super ridiculous looking cars. Like it needs to.
Did Tyler not know about this?
I didn't think it was serious. I thought
I know, right? Like, yeah, it's.
Oh, come on, think about it. Barbie coming out is changing the whole of everything.
I mean, they got Barbie, they got Twisted Metal.
Right.
They got Twisted Metal coming out, and they have what's the car one?
Well, Twisted Metal is a car.
Twisted Metal is a video game, but
no, Gran Turismo, and they got Gran Turismo.
Wait, Gran Turismo, the movie? Well, I guess they did Need for Speed, but at least Need for Speed was about racers and
honestly,
cars. Like, I don't know.
Well, Gran Turismo is really kind of unique because it's based on the real story about this contest that they had. Based on playing Gran Turismo, so it's a little different, but like
I do like Neil Blomkamp. I didn't know he directed.
Yeah, like I love that Neil Blomkamp, and
never mind, you got me with Blomkamp. You got me.
Yeah,
the trailer looks amazing. The trailer looks amazing. So, like when I was in the theater and I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, so I'm going to see this movie." Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Then Diesel like turned over his shoulder. He's like, "You're gonna go see that?" Yes.
He was like, "This isn't about family.
None of this has to do with family." Yeah.
So
exactly.
On the note of Barbie and Hot Wheels and all this, apparently there's also a Barney movie coming, and it has Daniel Kaluuya. I can never pronounce his last. Thank you. I can never pronounce his name. Attached to it in some way. It sounds like it's an A24 type
Is he
project.
Barney?
I don't know, but I know that A24 has had such an impact on the industry that everybody's trying to emulate them now, which is really kind of great.
Like A24 has nothing to do with it, but they're using A24 as a way to describe the feeling.
It's A24-esque, you know, because they do. There's a feel about A24.
I mean, but they do that. But they did that with Jordan Peele when Jordan Peele came out with a movie, and then they were like, it has that Jordan Peele feel to it, and it's just be like, okay, I get it. I get what you're saying. I get the vibe that you're trying to put out. So, if Daniel Kaluuya is if he's Barney, I always thought Barney was a black man as a child anyway, because he's purple and he dances. So
it says the forthcoming Barney film from Mattel will be produced and star him, and then will be an adult-oriented A24 type project.
Right.
What's an adult Barney though?
I don't know, but if it's not like if I don't get like a Kermit the Frog hurt. Where like Barney's like, I love you, you know, where he's like, morose and crying on himself. I gotta have that if we're gonna go like that direction. That's just me.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I imagine it has nothing to do with. It's not gonna be like a live, like it's not gonna be the show itself. Like we're not gonna be seeing a movie version of an episode of Barney. It's gonna be something about behind the scenes of Barney.
I would bet. Or maybe like the creator in his life or something.
Yeah.
I almost wish they did though. I like the other
Barney. A Barney like figure in his mind or something. Maybe that's how he creates.
That's right. Or it's how he's like how he's dealt with like childhood trauma through Barney.
Maybe this can help kids, and it's like, but it gets dark a little bit, and then at the end it's like lightened because he's like, I created something for children.
This makes me think of two movies. Two movies.
Yep, you're welcome, guys.
Death to Smoochie, if you've never seen it, is about Barney, but super dark comedy. It's Robin Williams and
it's so good.
Danny DeVito, and then why do I always forget
Edward
Norton? Thank you. And they're all child like stars, like as far as child entertainment stars, and they're like mobsters on the side almost. It's like this. Watch the movie, but it also makes me think of Voices with Ryan Reynolds, where he's not quite all there, and it's another dark comedy. So I'm hoping it's like in those veins, like is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Or what is it? Kidding with Jim Carrey, that TV show.
I don't think I know that.
Yeah.
Showtime. Like that's what I figured they were gonna maybe go that route.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yep.
Okay. We've got another.
Like Wilfred. Like
Wilfred. Yeah.
With like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Greta Gerwig, of course, with Barbie coming out, is probably going to become a household name.
Even bigger director. Yes.
Right. So, but apparently Netflix is picking her up for a Chronicles of Narnia series. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I didn't know Greta was attached to it. I knew that it was the Chronicles of Narnia was coming, but I knew Netflix was a part of it, and so I'm very hurt about that because Netflix has not been doing live action stuff well to me, or like adaptations well to me. But Greta Gerwig being a part of it, I feel a little bit more calmer.
Right.
But I still want to see what they have in store.
Well, if we don't watch it on the first weekend, it'll get canceled. So just keep that in mind. Because shows don't need to, get a footing or, take a couple seasons to find their audience or anything,
Like any other
the same, that's so annoying. And it's been the same with movies this year too, where it's just like, that's why I'm like kind of like almost half expecting this Barbie and Oppenheimer thing to not be as big as people are kind of expecting box office wise. Cause it's just how, like, I mean, the way movies have been going, like there's just too many out right now, too many like tentpole films for people to even, for the average moviegoer.
Yep.
Well,
at $20 a pop, it's hard to go more than once.
Yeah. Like not everyone's like me where I'm single. Like I, don't have a family or anything like that to say. I don't have kids. I can afford the Regal Unlimited thing and I can go, but like I'm not the average moviegoer, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not going to be, so I have a feeling like we're not going to see like the big, a big box office haul for these two films, especially since they're competing on the same weekend. So we'll see though. I could be.
I know Indiana Jones is like not comparable, but like seeing the numbers that was doing, I was like, enough this summer is like.
Yeah. It
but
could
I mean,
be the summer.
Like Indiana
it could
Jones
be
is
the
only
money.
One.
The fact that just everybody's broke. I mean, that could be just a fact of life. But it could be that everybody's like the fifth Indiana Jones movie, The Flash. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah.
also,
It's an IP.
People want to go to the movies and they want to see they just want to see some stuff that they enjoy, and not everybody's going to enjoy another superhero film. Not everybody's going to enjoy a fifth Indiana Jones film. So if you're not giving me, that's why people are drawn to A24, because A24 are doing original things or thinking outside the box and doing stuff that people didn't know they want to see. So
see,
I feel like too, the three comedies that we've had this summer alone, just like The Blackening, No Hard Feelings, and Joyride.
Oh, Joyride was good.
Yeah, and I think people are drawn to those because finally I have another choice besides these big tentpoles.
That's why I think Barbie and Oppenheimer have a shot though, because they're very different.
2 out of the 3.
Right.
I feel like they do. I feel like they have a shot, but also it's if they come out in the same week, one gonna overtake the other one, and that's just what it's gonna be.
And I hate to say it, Oppenheimer is gonna overtake Barbie. If you look at the polls, people ask what they see.
I feel like I don't know.
I think that the split.
Interesting.
I'm with Lot too.
I want to see Barbie succeed. I want to see them both succeed quite well.
Marketing for Barbie is kind of overtaking.
It is viral. I'll give you that. You can't turn a page without seeing Margot Robbie dressed up as Barbie. So
their marketing,
and just other they even did an Architectural Digest video. They even did an Architectural Digest video about the Barbie house, the Barbie dream house.
So can't you go visit
it's amazing.
it? Isn't it you can pay to go visit the house? I heard.
Well, there's that too. So they did they did an Architectural Digest video tour of the Barbie dream house on the set. So the Barbie dream house set, but there is an Airbnb themed Barbie house that you can rent. Also, right. So they're two separate things, but even that's a huge it's crazy. No one's doing that.
And it's the year of
Barbie's
pink.
Just an icon. Barbie's
pink is a thing this year. Everybody wants pink. So even Lots wear.
They should do a
pink. Always a thing. I can't stand it, but I think pink always. I'm always bleaching.
they should do like an Oppenheimer like village. You know how in Oppenheimer they created this whole town. They do a thing where you could like go to the Oppenheimer town, almost like a Nope, right? Like Universal
Oh, yeah.
like like I mean, I think that would be a great idea, but they didn't hire
I think
me
that
for
would
the
be
marketing,
cool.
So I would only go to that if I knew that
They
even
won't
though
give it
they're
away
not
for free,
related,
Bri.
I would want
That's
to
right,
find
okay.
in a refrigerator Indiana Jones somewhere in that place, just somewhere. Like,
All right, yeah,
you
there's
just
like they're connected.
gotta have it somehow. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the idea of an Oppenheimer movie alone, even if you don't have Nolan doing it, is probably good because most people don't really know who he was, and
Right.
there's a lot about that whole era of American history that's kind of kept hush hush still.
And that can honestly, and that could possibly be its downfall in a way, because we are in a year where people don't want to hear about history.
About
They don't want to
reality
hear about
even.
the real
They wanna-
stuff.
Yeah, we don't hear that.
We hear enough
Because
of reality,
stuff
right?
is
Yeah.
because stuff is already kind of heavy. It's like I kind of go to escape the heavy, and I'm gonna go pay money to go see something heavy. Like that's kind of, that's why I think Barbie might have it. It's like
No, but
light and
Barbie's
fluffy,
going to be
but
heavier
it
than
looks
people
like
think.
fluffy.
Like Barbie's going to
I
hit you
feel like-
upside
I
the
know, I
head
feel like
at
it
the
is.
end. It's gonna.
I feel like it is. I feel like it is.
It's gonna be a dark.
And I think I said this before, but I don't know, something about like Barbie's like slightly more exciting because like with Oppenheimer, I know what I'm getting. With Barbie, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna get. Like
True.
it might be.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Just feels more exciting to like go.
Absolutely.
No offense to anyone who wants to watch. It's the barbecue. It's the barbecue day. I got Barbie and then I got Oppenheimer. Like
That's funny.
I don't mind it.
I love it.
And
I
to
love
speak
it.
on it, because Issa Rae is in Barbie. Netflix just acquired Insecure, so all of like I think 5 seasons Insecure. There 5 or 6 seasons. All of the seasons are on Netflix. So if you want to watch Insecure, it's currently on Netflix streaming. So.
Barbie has been
Did they
banned.
get rid of it on Max
in numerous places?
Say it
Sorry,
again?
go ahead.
Did they get rid of it on Max? Because it's
I don't
HBO
think
show.
so, but I did. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But it's a possibility. It's a possibility that I don't really think HBO will let Insecure go. They probably just rented it out. Like, you can go ahead and take.
I figured it was still on.
Give us some money for it, and then we'll let you
it's so stupid.
That's honestly how Netflix gets the money to make the movies that they making now, because they be like, can we get some stuff so people can watch over here so we can make stuff. I feel like that's what Netflix.
Yeah, what is on Netflix anymore to watch other than their original stuff? Like, that's what it seems like.
Right.
Human resources and Big Mouth.
Yeah.
So Barbie got banned in Vietnam. It got banned in China as well, I believe.
That's another excellent point to make, because like China is huge box office money, and like there's a lot of films that have like struggled because they didn't get into China.
Right.
So like Avatar was huge in China. So like of course it's going to like, get to that $1 billion status. I don't know if Oppenheimer is playing in China. That may be where Oppenheimer wins. Like
no, that's a good point.
As far as global box office goes. So
definitely a good point.
I feel like Tom Cruise somehow banned Barbie in China.
So I read it. You brought up Tom Cruise, and I had to, Biggie has a pre-review for, of course, the upcoming Mission Impossible film. But apparently, I read a thing, and I want to verify this. Tom Cruise has only had one flop ever, and it was Legend that was the flop, and he hasn't flopped since Top Gun.
The Mummy didn't flop.
Now, see, I thought that was it, and see, that's why I was like, "Wait a minute." There were a few of them, I swear, but
Legend probably flopped too, but that was like so early on. So
and it was very weird and kind of off the beaten path.
It was, right.
I don't think Mummy flopped. I think it outmade, because I kept looking, because I was looking at all the mummies and the movie reviews, and I was looking at it wasn't good. It got really bad critical reviews, but I think because it was another Mummy movie, that's where it made its money from. Because it was like a franchise.
There were some cool stunts in it too, like
worldwide 400 million, budget 125. It made money. So I don't think it flopped. I think it flopped amongst the fandom, or flopped in the US even, and didn't flop overseas.
Because it wasn't enough to jumpstart that whole Universal universe that they wanted.
They wanted to make a darker. They wanted to make a darker Mummy.
I would have loved Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll. That would have been so great. That
Right?
awesome.
They were trying something, but it just didn't work.
Their MonsterVerse,
Yeah, exactly.
They need to go campy with it and be okay with it, and it'll do well.
Yeah,
I think that's what we're going to get from DC
I'd be
when
here
we
for
get
that.
more James Gunn stuff.
Yeah.
So it might go a little camp, but it
It's
needs
so,
it.
It's so sad they couldn't.
Yeah.
It's just sad they couldn't recreate that first movie across the board, because if you think about it, the first movie and the second movie are the same movie, just with some elements turned around. And like I said, sequels, that's how you know a good sequel. It's literally the first movie with just some elements turned around into
What movie?
maybe character development and things like that. The Mummy.
Oh, The Mummy. Yes, yeah, The Mummy. Sorry. Last week's.
Yeah.
Last week's movies.
Last week.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
Right.
Nitty, get it together.
We've had a long week. It's been a thing.
Trust me.
We had
we
had the fire. Did I tell you guys we had a fire break out right on the hill next to our house? Did I tell you guys?
No, you
wow.
didn't. Wow.
Yeah. So there was a fire right up on the hill. It was a 40-acre fire, so it was no joke.
Whoa.
And as soon as we saw the flames over the hill, we were like, "Well, let's pack and get ready to get out of here."
Mhm.
Luckily, great fire department, Eugene Fire Department. Thank
Busy
you
season.
for everything you guys did.
Shout out
Springfield
Eugene Fire
too.
Department.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. But anyway, yeah. So we've had that this
Happy you
week,
guys are safe.
and then we're dealing with buying the house, and it's just been crazy. It's been wild. So
Yeah.
one more bit of news. Looks like the Coen brothers breakup is already over. They're doing another movie.
I know.
So go Joe
I'm happy.
and Ethan.
Yeah.
Keep
I
just
understand why they felt like they had to split up, do
I
their
don't-
own thing.
I don't
Even though
know.
even though they've only each done one movie since they broke up.
well,
you know
they
what I
did
mean?
it.
And,
They
like,
got it out of their system. They're
Exactly.
good.
They're like, yeah. Come back. So,
But I
Okay.
get Deacon's back too. On there, so there you go.
They probably just need time away from each other for a little
Yeah.
bit to do some stuff. Because if you've been my brother my whole life, and all we've been doing our whole life is making
Working
movies or
together
doing
too.
stuff
Like, yeah.
and working together, like I would need a break, even if we only did one movie a piece. But that
Mhm.
movie took a minute, and we haven't done anything for a while.
Right.
I kind of get it,
Because you think it's going to be at least like 2 years conservatively
Mhm.
working on a film from pre to post, and then
Yeah.
all the marketing you got to do for it. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
The Russos are just like,
Right.
we'll keep doing it. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So who?
Yeah.
I
I
don't know
mean,
if they.
That
there
is
have been a
funny.
lot of brother pairs right over the years, but like
Uh-huh.
it's weird how some of them decide to call themselves the brothers, or like they don't. Like some
Yeah.
of them, like the Wachowskis.
Well, and I wonder
now,
how
of course,
much-
are just the Wachowskis. But even in the beginning, they guess they went by the brothers.
Like the Hughes brothers are kind of the same.
the
but
Farley
they're like-
brothers,
Mhm.
the Duffer
Yeah,
brothers. There's so
Safdies.
many.
That's just
Safdies.
The Safdie
that's
brothers.
just
yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's
That's a
just
good point. But you
marketing.
never hear about the sisters, right? You never hear
Exactly.
about two,
Uh-huh.
like sisters making movies together. What is this? It's like,
Are there sister directors? Are there?
I mean, there
any
should
sister
be.
directors you guys know?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
isn't Greta Gerwig too?
Greta,
Yeah, she's
Greta,
cool
and Greta
people.
Gerwig.
Greta.
You know. Well, anyway,
Gotcha.
we do have some movies we're going to review tonight. Why don't we get right into it? And we are going to get to Law first on this first one, because I saw her roll her eyes really hard when I brought this movie up. So, House LLC is the first film this evening. This was I curated the films tonight. All three were my choice. I don't know, just wanted some more horror. So, if you hate the picks,
That makes sense. I'm just kidding.
lay it right here on MrSniDBitS. So, House LLC. This is a found footage film. It's about a company that puts on haunted houses every year, and they spend a couple of months like really building up a pretty creepy haunted house. And they've worked out of New York City for years, and they kind of got tired of the scene. They even joke about one of the guys they got to play Satan had this like deep
Yeah, that
New
was pretty
York
funny.
accent,
I
right?
laughed pretty good at that
Right.
part.
So-
with his
So they decide to go out into the like
pretty good.
upstate New York and find a smaller town, and they find this hotel and they convert it, and lo and behold, like horror movies are, shit goes down. Law, what did you think of Hell House LLC?
I hated this movie with a burning passion.
Oh wow, okay.
I didn't like anything about this. And I'm sorry.
Look out behind you. No, I'm just kidding.
I won't say hate, because I kind of do hate that. I do hate the word hate, so I don't say hate. But
Yeah.
I loathe this film. I don't like found footage films. I've never been a fan of found footage films. Movies are already fake. I don't need a fake movie within a fake movie. Like it's just something about it is just I just never particularly cared for. Like I was never was it Blair Witch Project? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
I was never a fan of those films. Like I don't know. It's just something about it. And this was just like, I know y'all gonna die. Like there was no mystery for me. Like I guess it was just like how it happens.
But isn't like that for every horror film? Like,
yeah, like it's a horror movie. Somebody's gonna die. Like,
yeah, but it's like y'all are like telling me like I don't know. It's just something about it. Like Hereditary is better. I know people were gonna die, but I was excited for the deaths. I'm like, ooh, what's gonna happen? I mean, that sounds weird, and I'm excited for deaths, but still.
No. That's a horror fan thing. Like we rate them, we love them. Like, oh, what's the best kill in that movie?
You know,
that's okay.
You're not like watching the news. Like,
yeah, no, it's not like exactly. That's different. Very different.
You know, and so I'm just kind of like I don't know. I wasn't here for it. It was very like it was just a lot for me to focus on, a lot to like pay attention to. It jumped so much back and forth, and now we're in the past, but we were in the future. Now we're in the present. Like now, it was just it just was too much for me, and I was just like, I don't like this because I don't like found footage films. The moment I pushed play, and it was like the little tag, like the words started coming across, I was like, not just being like a Blair Witch Project thing. I was like, I'm gonna get through it.
You're like, no, this didn't happen. What are you talking about? This was. Don't tell me this happened. Yeah, like
that's what I wanted though. That's pretty much where my brain was though, bro. I was like, don't tell me these things, or like you will intersplice scenes with like they'll be like, look at the blood, and then they'll be like Emily, and then they'll do a footage like a thing of Emily, but like it would have been, I don't know. It wasn't for me. That's what I'll say. It just wasn't for me. Whoever loves this film, I respect the hell out of you, but it just wasn't for me. That's all.
That's fair. Tyler, what did you think of House LLC?
I am kind of on the same page with Law a little bit. Like I there's things in it that I liked a lot. Specific, like just like moments. Like I love the scene with like the clown like facing down the stairs, and he's like, "Oh, what are you looking at?" And he looks down, and then it's like looking at him, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of scary." But that was kind of like a lot of the movie is like, "Oh, that was kind of scary." That freaked me out.
I want to see that tagline on the box. Oh, that was kind of scary.
It was kind of scary. Yeah, I didn't realize it was a found because I looked up nothing when I like put it on Tubi. I was like, oh, it's a found footage movie. I will say I had some of the same problems with like the pacing. Like I just did not like the splicing of like where they would put like the documentary interviews, and then now you got the footage from like the first guy who like tried to record,
who talked about it. And
if the movie has to like tell me it's mysterious, like it doesn't feel mysterious. Like they're like, oh, and then we don't know what happened. Find out next in this video, and it just kind of felt like that constantly. Like, oh, he went down the stairs.
Like near the
no one knows what happened when he went down those stairs. I'm like, can you just tell me what happened when he went down the stairs?
Yeah,
is that cool?
Or just show me.
Or just show me.
Yeah.
But
there's always that one person. It's always that one person who was like very much so like, oh, this is a joke, and you know they're about to die because like, it's a joke. And I was just like, all right, y'all, have a good day.
And this is 2015 or 15. There's something about like, I know it's the formula, but like, there's got to be a way to like. I was like, these characters are completely dislikable for me. Like, I just don't. They were like, they're just so stupid. Like, I mean, they're kind of asking for it. That's why I don't care when they end up dying, or like the ending part, like spoilers. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just didn't really like the whole. She was kind of like behind. She was behind it, but it's because she was like possessed or whatever by the end of the movie, like the main girl. And it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to feel like tragic. They had like the emotional piano, so I assumed it was supposed to be like, oh.
I mean, they all died. So I don't know.
I was like, yeah, they all died, but they all kind of like asked for it. Like, I don't know. Just the plot was just like, we have to make this haunted house. I was like, bro, you guys, what do you guys have? Like, what kind of time do you guys have that this is your
2 months? They started in September.
Right, it was like 46 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and I hated I think I brought it up on the show before. The improv, like I can tell the dialogue is like they gave him a scene and they threw him in there because then people will be like, oh, I'm gonna quit. Oh, you're gonna quit? Yeah, I'm gonna quit because I'm angry. Oh, you're angry, so you're gonna quit? Like, it's just
right.
People are trying to find like, how to move the plot forward without like.
Yeah, it's improv 101. Improv 101.
It wasn't even 101. It was just like there was no yes and. Like that's 101 right there. It's just like they kept saying the same thing back and forth. Yeah.
No, but that's why I say it's 101 because they don't get yes and in 101s. They just be like, no, you, and it's like that's not how you yes and. You don't say no at all.
You have to like
keep it going. You have to agree with me and then keep the story going.
And then you add something else. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep on that.
And then it just felt like even like the build up to the very last, like, because we're finally finding out like what went down. It felt like a weird like rock. It felt like a forever journey to get there that like I didn't care, even though the movie's like not that long. It just
133
felt like forever
1
to
hour
get
33
there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that thing felt like 2 hours. I'm sorry.
Didn't it feel like Ty? I missed you, man.
Brian, what did you think of House LLC?
So like I like totally understand where Tyler and Lara are coming from because like it took a minute for me to kind of like get into it, but then I like started liking it. Like I actually started like kind of like getting into some of it, and I was just like I kind of wish it was just more of the found footage and not the documentary thing. Like I was just like, this really isn't adding to it for me. You know, I was really more into like these guys like it's really just like the one guy who was like so determined.
Alex
is like, no, we're gonna like make this house.
He's a driving force.
This haunted house. We got to get this done. And it's just like, and they weren't listening to the one guy, Paul, I think was the first camera operator who's kind of documenting everything. Yeah, and I was like kind of into it. Like after I got through like the slow beginning part for me. I mean, I will say I wasn't. It's found footage. And I think the thing too for like with Blair Witch, if you weren't there when Blair Witch like Sniddy and I kind of like were there when
I was 20 when that came out. So,
exactly.
Or 22 when it came out.
And so the marketing for that movie was incredible. Like that's what really
there were two documentaries on TV that you could watch because you thought they were real.
Yeah.
Which was wild.
Like, so and this was such a new thing. And now it's like done and over with. So I feel like if you haven't like seen like where that kind of thing started, it's easy to like dismiss found footage stuff. But yeah, like I did enjoy this, but again, I won't say it's like, the greatest thing out there.
It's not sure. Chinatown, right?
No. Yeah. I mean, nothing is, but
right.
Yeah. Right. But I do appreciate a lot of this stuff. Like there's some, like it like creeped me out. And that was kind of like, like I wasn't expecting, I was very much, I think too, my expectations were lower with this because I knew it was found footage thing. I was like, oh, what is this? This is going to be, kind of know what to expect already. But so I think with that, it kind of like, I was able to, kind of just let go of it and really get into some of the creepiness of it. But again, yeah, I was just like, okay, that happened. It was like, I won't probably ever watch it again.
It happens 3 more times. There are sequels. And I'll tell you right now that there are sequels.
Yeah, there are sequels.
It did well enough, it did well enough that there are sequels. But I think that the reason they're sequels is that they set it up specifically for sequels. And that's why the documentary crew is there, because the next one picks up with them in room C2 or 2C or whatever it is. For myself...
Oh, they live?
What? No. I'm just saying that we pick up right then. Like it picks up.
Oh, right.
As to what's happening.
I did not like that news lady. Like, shit.
No, she was way too eager. Especially when the guy's like, "Can we leave?" And she's like, "Nah."
Yeah, he was like
nah.
No.
But I did like how he was like, "I'm not going in the basement," which I respect. I wouldn't go in that basement either, like ever. So anyway, Batsy gave me this or showed me this film, I think 4 years ago. And I am a fan of found footage, but it depends. So like, I don't like the Paranormal Activities as much. I do like.
I did enjoy the first one.
The first one was interesting.
The first one really. I was really into that one.
They're hit or miss. Some of them are good, some of them aren't, and it just depends.
Yeah.
If I guess being a person of the Blair Witch age, for me, all found footage kind of feels that way always. So I'm always willing to let go. So go ahead.
I have a real quick question. What's the Blair?
You're You cut out.
You cut out there, La.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm asking, what's the Blair Witch age? I was 13 when this film came out. When that film came out.
So
are you saying like
if you
somebody
saw it in
18 and up
theaters?
when
No,
the film
if you
came
saw
out?
it in theaters and you were part of the hype and
Yeah, if
fell
you're part of,
along
like-
into it, basically.
Yeah, like you guys are probably too young when Blair Witch was like being promoted and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like to really like, whereas like Sydney and I, like I said, we kind of like were really just engrossed in that marketing that they did for it. Like for me, the marketing for Blair Witch was really what stuck out.
Well, they had a
more than the
web
film.
page that
Yeah,
you
like the
could
film
go
wasn't-
to, and the web page was find these
No,
children.
I mean, I
Like,
remember.
not
I remember
like,
all of
Yeah,
that.
it's pretty
I'm
like
cool.
find
just
these
not a
children.
fan
They're
of
missing.
found footage.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Right.
I'm just
and
not a
that-
fan of found footage.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's because I think
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
all of that. But I just wasn't a fan.
well, that's why.
Because I've never seen Paranormal Activity or anything. I just haven't been
Yeah.
a fan of.
Well, then I think because it's just like there's so many like you guys have kind of grown up with found footage stuff now,
Right.
where it was like new for us, you know, kind of thing.
It wasn't the first
I think
one,
that's
but
like
it was the first
Cloverfield.
big one, right? It was
Right.
the first big one. And Cloverfield was
Yeah,
the
it
first
was like-
attempt
That's
at
the
a
one that did it for
sci-fi.
me.
Like
Yeah.
that was
Right.
like
Yeah.
new in its own way
Yeah.
as well.
Right.
That was
And
JJ
such
going,
a huge
you know, let's
profit
turn it.
margin too.
Well, yeah, that's
Like,
the thing.
The profit margin was insane for that movie.
Blair Witch made like an extraordinarily large
Mhm.
number in returns because it made
Cost nothing
millions,
to
but it
make.
cost only hundreds of thousands to make, or like less than 100,000 to make.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was
It's
that.
like 65,000. So it was really low.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
But that's also guerrilla filmmaking when you take 3 students, give them
Yeah.
2 cameras in a DAC, and throw them in the woods.
That's what this one kind of felt like too. They found this shitty, you know, rundown. You know, it was just a few of them found this place, or someone knew this place, or had this place in their family, or something like that.
Mhm.
You know, and so they're like, "Oh, we can shoot a horror film here." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and the equipment is like super low budget. Like God knows what kind of cameras they shot with this thing. You know. So
Well, I don't think there was any Foley in the movie either. I think the place was literally that creaky and that creepy. Like,
right.
you
Oh.
could tell it has
Right.
that like residual
Like-
sound to it, where I think the sound design
it was like
was
live Foley.
on set. Yeah, it's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And with found footage,
Yeah.
it works because you're the camera. The camera operator is part of the
Yeah,
movie. So
And it's almost like perfect Foley made even stick out
yeah,
with that kind of thing, you know, where you'd be like, oh, that would actually take you out of the like found footage element of it, I think.
I agree. I do blame Alex for literally everything that happens because in the last 5 days
Yeah.
leading up to, they kept telling him, dude, we are seeing shit. This is really happening. Please stop ignoring us. And he's like, don't mess up. The actors are going to get upset and leave. And it's like, yeah, they should, dude. Like, and then of course, one of the actors at least dies. We know that for sure. There's no way that girl made it out of that basement alive. Even though they don't show it. But I felt really bad for her because that scream she did felt very well acted, very genuine for me.
Yeah.
That's just me. I actually enjoyed this movie a lot more than I ever thought I would. When my wife was like, here's another found footage, I'm like, I love found footage when they're done right. Like, it's one of my favorite genres, or subgenres. But man, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is. And is it the best one? No, but I think it has some fun elements. I think it's a great.
Like, have you guys seen Wreck?
You enjoyed it. That's all that matters.
I did see Wreck, yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like that one.
Wreck is
Is
better
that one
than
in the apartment
VHS.
building?
So yeah, Wreck is the quarantine one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or there's Quarantine as well. So Quarantine
Oh,
is the
there's
American
like a remake, right?
So Quarantine is the
Right.
American version. Wreck is the Korean.
Yeah,
version.
Wreck is the right. Yeah. That's the one I've seen.
But the Quarantine is also good. Well done. It's got I always forget her name. The girl from Dexter's sister, is in it. Emily Rose.
His wife?
His sister.
Yeah.
His sister in the show.
Oh, his sister.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I know not everybody loves found footage, but I still think it still has its place, and I think it's going to continue to be here as a subgenre as people try to find new ways to utilize it. It's weird because even when at the beginning of this season we did Event Horizon, and it's weird because even in that movie there's a smidgen of found footage when they watch the crew go through hell, and that was creepy as hell. So like it has its place even in little moments, and if they could use it like that, you know. Jennifer Carpenter, thank you for that, Kristen. It's Spanish. Sorry, Rec is Spanish. My apologies.
Yeah, Rec is Spanish.
That was an assumption that most amazing horror comes out of Asia. So,
yeah.
Ain't that his wife in real life?
They did marry. Yes. So you were right about his wife. They were married in real life, and then they were playing brother and sister on the show. Okay. They kind of got divorced, I think, probably because
I kind of feel like the new found footage is like these things of like missing and where it's all like based in like an online world, where it's all like mobile devices or your computer,
like unfriended, like, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think that's like a new found footage kind of thing that they've been trying.
Which I think Searching did a really good job with it. Like that caught me by surprise. I didn't know the whole movie was going to be like that. And it's good. It's a good hiking movie. Yeah. Blair Witch, a good hiking movie.
Yeah.
What's really bizarre about Blair Witch is that there are 3 films in the series. 2 are found footage and 1 is not. One does utilize some found footage for some of the like video shots, but it's just a movie. I always thought that was really odd that they didn't have faith in the found footage enough to make the sequel found footage. So
Tyler, look up behind you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right there.
That's a podcast. I'm looking behind me, guys.
Yes, but it was a vampire. You would never see them. So I'm sorry.
Yes, that's true.
Just saying. Is she a vampire? No, we can see her. Never mind. That answers the question.
She's not there anymore.
Sorry. Have you guys ever gone to a haunt like this, like in real life?
I never will.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Like I love
I'll go to a haunted house, but I'll never go to a place like that because I believe too much.
Right.
That I believe in it too much to go
There's
to
some brutal
a
ones
place
out there though,
where people have like been mass murdered or died, or people refuse.
Yeah.
Oh, like legit, like that place that they're doing it in is actually not. I would not mess with that.
I refuse. And I know what Abaddon means. So somebody was like, "We go to the Abaddon house." No gracias. I know what that means.
I mean, the lore of that I think is real. Like that's supposed to be.
It
true.
is the lore that is real. So. And I said no. The moment they said Abaddon house, I was like, "Oh my god, this is people about to die in such crazy ways." So I was just like, "This is gonna be great."
So
yeah.
We also have, there's haunted corn mazes, which is what we've done here in Oregon, and there's some really great ones. They no longer have the one here, which sucks, but they had it for 25, 30 years. And you'd get chased by chainsaws and, spooky buses and all sorts of fun stuff. But that's the extent. That or like Disneyland.
I'm cool with that. I'll do that stuff, all day.
But that's it.
Yeah. And at least that's like open where like there's been a few I've done. There's one in that was when I lived in California. There was one I think in Fresno that was pretty bad, like bad in a good way. But it was just like, and they had 2 separate ones. They had a house one, then they had like this like hospital. They call it like a mental hospital kind of thing.
Oh, wow!
And they set it up really well. Like you have to like weave through this zigzag maze, and oh man, it was bad. Like it was pretty. And they do a good job of like making you go single file and everything. And then the thing was they'd have things come up behind you, and I was like last in this line, and I was like pushing people. It was like, and there's people like reaching for your ankles and stuff like they have like a lowered,
no thank you,
like a raised. Yeah, it was good.
So you were having some flashbacks to that when they were like, "Go back up the stairs.
No, totally.
There's no way out."
Oh yeah. I was thinking that too. Yeah, it's like, it's really well done. But there's some really terrible ones out there, like terrible in the sense that they kind of take things too far. Where they make you sign like a waiver.
Well, that's like the Great Horror Camp Out they did for several years, where you would go and like there were zones depending on how willing you were to get fucked with.
Yeah.
And my wife was always like, "Let's go," and I'm like, "I'll be in a hotel. Exactly. You can go. I'll stay home
where they
with
say if you have a heart condition, you're not allowed to do it."
Yeah, no gracias. This is not and I don't even have a heart condition. It's not
I know, right? No, like.
No.
Your heart has to be this strong to go into this ride.
Like, I'm not about to do that.
Right? No,
I'm just scared. Like, I've been to haunted, like, houses and, like, things like that. Or, like, they'll create, like, what is it? Like, Erebus is really big here. Big in Michigan or whatever. Like, so they'll do, like, an Erebus thing and stuff like that. And it's fun because people will be reaching out and, sometimes they'll touch you or they'll let you know, like, you will, they can't grab you. If you don't want to be touched, you don't have to do this and all that kind of stuff, but that is kind of like what we do, and I'm all for it because I know it's fake and it's just fun, but it still scares me. But if I gotta sign a waiver because I might die, you can have a good day. I'm not about to do that. No. I like my life. I don't need to be scared to death. Like,
Batsy thinks we should do a Real Study sponsored, like, corn maze and just have everybody come out and just.
I'm here for it.
All horror movie themed.
Ooh.
But so
I'm
we
100%
make extra money if right next door we can get like, you know, for like a kid version, like, oh, like this is fun. Like we'll have the Barbie house next to it or something. Want to have fun.
Zombie Barbies?
Yeah.
Just,
The Oppenheimer house.
I feel like another cash cow would be to have a therapy session right at the end of the maze.
Right.
To get people to
just a
coach
guy
people, make
dressed
sure
like
they're
Freud.
okay.
Just,
you know, $5 for some mental health. You know what I'm saying? Just drop $5 into the jar.
And you just slap them and say, "Get over it," right? And there's your $5, right?
Yeah, it was It was
It's all has to do with your mother.
It's your mother.
Okay, next.
Give me your money. The moment they give you the money, you smack them. You got one person who takes the money, one person that smacks them. It's fake.
Next.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
but
heartless
join us
therapy.
for season 3 of Real Study, though. Thank you. So come back.
Why don't we go ahead
and
yeah, we can go ahead and rate this film. I have a feeling this is going to be one of the lower Real Study rate. Well, maybe it'll split. It might split. We'll see. Why don't we start with Law? What did you think of House LLC?
I give it a 2 because it was a couple of moments. I give it a 2 because it was a couple of moments that I actually enjoyed.
A couple of moments. I love it.
Yeah, it was a couple of moments actually.
Okay. Well, what were they? Just can we find what were those?
I like the scene where like I think they were heading into the basement and the camera like panned away, but then when he panned back, it was like the guy with the long hair just kind of like standing there, and they were like, no, I had to go back up the stairs. I was like, that's hilarious. I love that scene. I was like, that was amazing. I wanted more of that. And then I like the scene where the guy is like, we just got finished filming. He's like in this room and he has the camera. And he's like, yeah. And he cuts the light off and he goes to sleep. And when he wakes up and the camera's still going, it's a girl just laying on the floor.
Yeah, that part.
I thought that was great. And he just woke up on like,
I know.
Like just not aware. And I was like, I can't wait until he finds this person in the camera because he doesn't have to turn around. It's kind of like Tyler when he was like, I'm on a podcast, guys. I can see who's behind me. Like it's very much that.
Very different if
like,
it's
so
just a camera pointed at you, right?
Right. And he could see like the person behind him, and he was like, "Oh shit!" Like he flipped out. And then I liked that they didn't show. I liked that they didn't show what happened to him in a way. You just heard it.
Right.
I love stuff like that. If they could have given me more of that, even with the fact that this is like a house. Like I kind of agree. Like if they took away the found footage parts and just showed that as a movie, and then possibly set that up as the end as a possible, like somebody finds the footage of this at the end and they put it in.
So then the sequel would be the found footage film?
Yeah.
And it would be interspliced with what's happening to the people watching the haunted footage?
But I feel like it would be done better if it was done like that instead of it how it was done now. But I could be wrong. It's fine. I won't see no sequels. So
yeah, no. As my wife said, they're terrible. No need to go beyond this one. So you have seen the series if you've seen this one.
Right.
Oh.
Tyler, what did you think of House LLC?
I'm gonna give it 6 VHS tapes.
Hilarious.
Secret tapes from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. They're I think I liked things in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about all I have to say.
I liked that and this. They were good.
I like that they did it.
Yeah, no, it was filmed. Right. That was good.
Yeah, they did do that. Yeah. On a low budget too.
This is reminding me of Brian's TikTok from like a year and a half ago. He was like, I saw a film. It was a film. It was a good film.
Yeah, it was a movie.
And it's what it's reminding me.
They use cameras.
Would you ever shoot a found footage film, Tyler?
Oh, you know what? I do. I was gonna say that I might take a crack at it, but I gotta find some way to make it like interesting. I don't know.
Sure.
Right.
I'll start by making characters that are likable first. But...
If you make them super likable, when they die at the end, people will care. It is something that a lot of horror movies struggle with. Is they're like, these 3 people are arguing and they're all assholes. Okay, Let them die,
Kill
please.
them.
Like, please.
They must die.
But if you throw nice people in there, it changes things. It makes your heart go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only one I felt like bad for was Paul, because like he was trying to record the whole thing. Right, in the beginning? Yeah, he's the main camera guy in the beginning. Until Chica takes care of him, but yeah, so he was like, yeah, but he was really the only one that I was just like, oh, damn.
If it was a family of 4 in this movie, I probably would have cared more.
Interesting.
A loving family.
Because we're gonna get to a family of 4 here in a little bit, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
We're gonna move from friends who are shitty to each other to friends who are shitty to each other.
Like really shitty to each other.
Really shitty to each other. To a family who loves each other. So it's an interesting dynamic tonight. We should hit the pre-review before we move on to the other movies. I do want to say this is.
Wait, don't you guys gotta vote?
Oh, we did. Yeah. Exactly. So we never got.
Hey,
did we get 6?
Don't mind me. I'll
we
just.
I didn't. I screwed myself over too. So it's not just you. It
Brian
was this half of the panel. Oh.
You just assumed you guys.
So we got a 2. We got a 2. We got a 6.
I'll just
go ahead, Brian. I'm a dork.
Yeah. Oh, you do care.
I do.
What I have to say.
I do.
Cool.
I do.
That's how I felt when Brian was like, "I missed you, Tyler, man," and I was just like, "What am I, chopped liver? Just sitting here."
But we haven't seen Tyler in so long.
Right.
I know.
I'd give this a 6. Like it's like there's some stuff I like. Like I think it's just because like I was more surprised I actually ended up liking it like near the end, where it's like, oh, okay. But again, it wasn't like, like I was blown away. Like
it wasn't Deacon's quality, but it was.
Like Deacon's an airing touch a found footage thing.
What would he do with it?
But you wasn't too mad at it.
Could he light one fabulously or something? I don't know. Could he do it?
Yeah, it'd be gorgeous. But then it wouldn't be found.
It wouldn't look like you'd be like, why does this look so good?
Yeah, it looks too good.
This is fake.
But,
they remastered the footage.
Right.
They'll just reuse that from Blade Runner. It'll be a found footage.
Oh no! Oh! Here's a thought. Why not have him do the cinematography for a 1970s found footage film where he has to get everything to look like the 70s and give an aesthetic?
I feel like he would do the shit out of that movie.
I'm just saying, I don't know what the story would be.
Right.
Certain people shouldn't get attached to it. Keep Tarantino away from it. We don't need him tainting it up with all of his 70s love.
We can speed it up, you know what I'm saying? Speed it up.
I can't wait for his final film, Feet. It'll be a great film. We didn't get to hear from you, Tyler, on the Tarantino episode. So
it's gonna be called. It's gonna be called Soul with but spelled SOLE. It's gonna be called Soul. That's gonna be his last film.
I love that. That's.
Or maybe it'd be called Tippy. It'd be called Tippy, and it's about a girl, and she's always on her tippy toes, very similar to Barbie. He's like gonna bite that a little bit.
And they're always dirty because he loves the dirty feet.
They're always dirty. He loves them dirty feet. Come on.
Why not? Okay, one last bad name. The big one, as in the big toe, right? That could be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like this piggy went to market. That's what it's called.
The tagline is "We all the way home."
It's like Piggy Town, Piggy Nation, something like that. It's gonna be just a whole bunch of piggies.
Tarantino, just come to the Real Study. We'll give you all your ideas.
We got you some ideas.
We got you covered.
The 11th film from Quentin Tarantino.
These are his retiring films.
Maybe it'll be called Archway.
It'll be animated.
Animated.
Everyone in the movie's gonna have those like skeletons.
He loves a good artist.
I love it. Okay, so Sniddy's rating of this is gonna be a 7. I will rewatch this again. I'll probably watch it near Halloween. It's become kind of the 30 films. I've seen it twice. I enjoyed it both times. I will be rewatching it again. So I think I rated it an 8 on Letterboxd, but I was like, so I didn't know. So anyway, now we will on Letterboxd. I rated it an 8. I'll probably lower it later, but 7.
Damn,
7
you
for
rated it 8. They only gave me 5.
Oh well, no. So I do the extrapolation: 5 stars, 10 rating, same thing.
Oh,
4 is an 8. Okay. Yeah, sorry. So I just extrapolate.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, that was my fault.
What letterbox you on?
I assume everybody just does that in their head. Maybe they don't.
Letterbox just turned over the shoulder. Vin Diesel looked over his shoulder. He's like, "Hey, what's this?"
We are going to be doing the pre-review. This is the final pre-review of the season, but this is also Biggie's last pre-review. He is retiring.
Yes, it is.
Retiring from the pre-review. We wish
you just burnt him out.
We wish you all the best. And of course, I know he's he's still a loyal follower and viewer. He was here. I saw him earlier. I'm assuming he's still here. But yeah, this is his final pre-review. Next season, unless anything changes, it sounds like Lala will be taking over the pre-review. We'll be doing it live from now on, so it'll be a little more improv.
A little snippet.
Yeah.
So, it will be, for sure.
Yes,
I won't be as professional as Biggie is all, and I don't claim I will be. Okay? I won't be.
But we'll still, we'll still be telling you. We'll still be letting you know what movies are coming out because it's important so you guys can see them. So, that said, we're going to move on to the pre-review.
Biggie's pre-review brought to you by The Real Study, Sunday nights, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Welcome to Biggie's pre-review. The pre-review is where I tell you about upcoming movie theaters and beyond. This is for week July 10th through 16th, 2023. I got a hell of a week for you, starting with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1. In this action-adventure movie, Ethan Hunt and the IMF team must track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all of humanity if it falls into the wrong hands. With no control of the future and the fate of the world is at stake, a deadly race around the globe begins. This movie stars Tom Cruise, Haley Atwell, Rebecca Ferguson, Esai Morales, and Ving Rhames, amongst others. This movie looks fantastic. Of course, we all know that Tom Cruise does his own stunts, which is pretty badass. Let's just be honest about it. And this movie looks like it's going to be a great chapter to the Mission Impossible movie franchise. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 premieres July 12th in theaters. Next on my list is the sci-fi drama Gray Matter. Aurora has known all her life from her mother that the superhuman abilities they have also make them dangerous. Now Aurora will discover if her mother was speaking the truth on one fateful and fatal night. This movie stars Mia Isas, Andrew Liner, and Isabella Ferreira. This movie looks really good. I'm always down for a great sci-fi flick, and this definitely has that thriller element to it. Let's go. The movie Gray Matter premieres on Max July 13th. Next up is the comedy Theater Camp. Eccentric staff members of an upstate New York theater camp must band together when their beloved founder falls into a coma. This movie stars Molly Gordon, Ayo Idibiri, and Ben Platt, amongst others. This movie looks like it's going to be not only funny, but maybe a little heartwarming too. I can't wait to see how this movie plays out. The movie Theater Camp hits theaters on July 14th. Next up is some more comedy with The Miracle Club. There's just one dream for the women of Balagar: to taste freedom, to win a pilgrimage to the sacred French town of Lourdes. With a little benevolent interference from their local priest, a group of close friends get their ticket of a lifetime. This movie stars Maggie Smith, Laura Linney, and Kathy Bates, to name a few. Now, this movie looks like it's going to be a pretty epic comedy. It's got a great lineup for a cast. I can't wait to see this one. The movie Miracle Club has a limited release in theaters starting July 14th. All right, now one that I've been waiting for a while. Bird Box Barcelona. In this horror sci-fi mystery, after a mysterious force decimates the world's population, Sebastian must navigate his own survival journey through the desolate streets of Barcelona. This movie stars Mario Casas, Georgina Campbell, and Diego Calva, amongst others. This movie is going to be fantastic, I can already tell. The trailer looks great, and of course, as we know, this is a sequel to the original Bird Box. The movie Bird Box Barcelona streams on Netflix starting July 14th. All right, next up I have a thriller for you with the movie Quicksand. Quicksand follows a married couple almost divorcing who become trapped in quicksand while hiking through the rainforest in Colombia. They will battle the elements of the jungle and must work together in order to survive. This movie stars Carolina Gayton, Alan Hawko, and Sebastian Esalva, amongst others. This movie looks like it's going to be intense. Of course, it is a Shudder original, and I'm always down for those. The thriller Quicksand premieres on Shudder starting July 14th. All right, next we have some drama romance with A Fire. Emotions run high for a group of friends in a holiday home by the Baltic Sea as the parched forest around them catches fire. This movie stars Paula Beer, Thomas Schubert, and Matthias Brandt, amongst others. I love a good drama romance, and this one's definitely going to be worth it. The movie A Fire has a limited release in movie theaters starting July 14th. All right, last on my list, but certainly not least, is Lakota Nation versus the United States. In this documentary, the Lakota people fight to reclaim their sacred land and protect it from government and corporate interests. This movie has speakers such as Crystal Two Bulls, Candy Brings Plenty, and Henry Red Cloud, to name a few. The documentary Lakota Nation versus the United States has a limited release in movie theaters starting July 14th. Well, that's the last pre-review for this season. And I hope to see you out there.
We are back, and I'm being made fun of, so we're gonna make mistakes. Here's the last episode. You know, I've lost my hat.
All last episodes are no holds barred.
Anyway, Biggie, we want to say thank you for all your hard work this season. You did an amazing job. Watching you grow over the season was great.
We actually prepared an acapella song for you.
Ready? Tyler's starting it. Here we go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
3. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My laughing is the beat, right? It's
yeah.
Biggie. You're the
Happy birthday.
For it.
I'll do the bass. I can handle the bass. Anyway, Biggie, we do love you, and we do appreciate everything that you have done for us. So, and your continued support of the Real Study.
For sure.
So we're going to move on to the next movie in our lineup this evening. First, I have to find where we are. And then I have to open this and close this and close that and open this. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This is an A24 film. Uh-oh. Anyway.
Things I do for this show. Watch Bodies, Bodies, Bodies twice.
Yeah. So this was part of the reason this made it onto the.
Brian, we call that dedication.
I agree. But we put this on here because Brian had made a mention of his thoughts on it, and I really wanted to hear in-depth thoughts, so I shoehorned this onto the show. So why don't we start with Brian, since he had his eye roll moment, if you will. Go ahead and tell me, what did you think of Bodies, 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 both times you saw it?
So I'm glad I watched it again, because knowing what I know, the first time around, I was just like, no, and I really tried, because it's an A24 film, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be great. And I was just like, that's what happened. Seriously, it was just, I was just like, no, you think we're I was just done. So this time around, I was like, okay, I'm really gonna really find something to like about this movie, you know, and man, the second time around too, it was like, is it possible I don't like these characters even more? Watching the second time around, I was just like, wow, you guys just no redeeming qualities about any of you. You all just are in the middle of this thing, and I will say there's a lot of great metaphor in it. It's using all these. This has a lot about generational things.
Mm-hmm.
And performative like social media kind of things, like, and like when the shit hits the fan, who you really are comes out, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So I do appreciate that. And even more so, the cinematography is sticking out for me, and just like how much I really appreciate that and what they did. And I started reading up more about, you know, that and really digging into that. So from a filmmaking perspective, I was really finding more things to like about it, and how like each character from a lighting perspective actually has specific things to them. I mean, like B, who was probably the only character I actually like, you know, cared about, you know, because she was the only one that wasn't really toxic so much, but she literally has her phone like on a lanyard, and she's tethered to her mom in a way that's sense, and tethered to her phone physically and metaphorically, you know. And she uses her light differently. Like, she doesn't use the actual flashlight on like a lot of the other, like, she uses the actual screen to light up her face, and you don't see her like using it to like as a flashlight. She like lights up her face. So that's like a technique that they did. And the actress that uses all the neon, that was a way
Alice's
to like
character.
Yeah, Alice, like that's part of her character. She's kind of more like the party girl in a way too, and so they like had all these colors for her. And
she
like,
also had the brightest outfits when they were not in the dark.
Yeah,
and she could like light up other people around her with her colors and her lights that she had.
Podcasts are hard.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. When I saw it in context, I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I was really appreciating the cinematography, and how like, and almost like using the idea of like this rich house, like this mansion, like, okay, it's possible they'd have like this badass security system, and maybe certain lights would go off, you know, so they kind of use the location as a way to like to use certain reasons. There's a lot of color in this. There's no real like just standard lighting. It's all like different color lighting. The only like standard bright light would be from their phones and flashlights. And like one character uses a headlamp all the time, you know, and she kind of uses it a different way, and she's very like a type A kind of character. So I really did appreciate from that perspective, but still in the end I was just like, man, you know, I can't believe I watched this a second time. So
Tyler, what did you think of Bodies?
I liked it a lot. This is like, what about? Well, I don't know if it's because it's like I'm not even from Gen Z, but like I'm maybe closer to that generation. But even just being like, I think when it first came out, and like having been on TikTok for a certain amount of time, and then realizing like, yeah, like the satire behind like how we, that generation, or like the things it says about like social media, and how, you know, we're all like our self-absorption with ourselves. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of technical things that I like appreciate, like you were saying, like the lighting. I even like the creative ways that they use like glow sticks as a way to like light them, so because they were constantly having to walk through this huge mansion that had like no lights, and like I was like, okay, so they found creative ways with the cell phones and the glow sticks. There's a lot of funny moments. I love like I thought the ending reveal made sense with what the film was trying to say about how we communicate with each other through technology and all of that stuff. And I thought like there was that other moment when they killed that one dude, and they're like, "You said he was a vet."
The veterinarian.
A veterinarian. I was like,
veterinarian's assistant, even like.
Right.
I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
But you called him. But you called it what? Like she called him like a.
But you called him. Why would you call him a vet?
Like, I don't know, not National Guardsman, but something soldier-like.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he looked like a soldier.
Yeah.
But it's because he carried a rucksack and was built, you know. So yeah.
Shout out to Lee Pace.
Dude, I saw this movie one time before and didn't even realize it was Lee Pace until I did it this time. I was like, wait, that's Ronan the Destroyer. What the fuck?
Yeah.
The moment I saw him, I was like, Sushi Davis. I was like, that's my love. I love him so much.
He's great. Like, he does a great job.
Yeah.
Law, what did you think of Bodies?
I'm kind of like in the middle. I get what they were doing. There are moments that I do like. I kind of wish what they were doing was done better in a sense, because I mean, I hate to say better because it's like I don't direct nothing, but just from from my own perspective, like I mean better in a sense, like every character seems. I like characters who are written in a way that's everybody was written. I feel like everybody's divergent. If I could say it in a pop culture way, I feel like everybody's divergent. So when you write somebody that's just one typical way, I kind of don't believe it in a sense, because everybody isn't 100% one way, right? So all of these characters exhibited personality traits that pretty much everybody can have or do have within themselves. But it was like they are very dominant in this. She's very dominant. She's very aloof. The girl with
they all
the outfit.
represented like
very,
one aspect
like
of
one
personality.
type of personality, and it's like, and I was kind of like, okay, I'll get past that and just deal with that. That's fine. Let's see how this goes. And then it's like you have like multiple stories wrapped in other stories, so now you're trying to get those out in the midst of trying to find a killer. So. But then it's like you want people to get it just by like a camera look between people, or a camera, or like a cut between people, and it's like you're not really establishing what you're trying to establish. But I can catch on, like it's cool, but I doubt a lot of people can. So that's probably why a lot of people had things to say about this film. Because I remember one reviewer came out and was like, they just wanted to make a film with girls in tight clothes kissing each other, and I was just like, is it that bad? I was like, geez. And then I watched it and I was like, I kind of understand the review, but you were also heavy-handed, and that's not exactly
that's at the beginning of the movie, and then it doesn't really happen again for the rest of the film.
Right.
It's definitely quite an interesting way to bring in a film, but
I was just like, that's okay. I was like, this review is kind of shoddy, but okay, whatever. Anywho, I love the aesthetics of the film. I think the film is actually beautiful to look at, because like Ty said, like Bryce said, it's Ty and Brian. Like they said, I like the rhyme. It's this big old mansion, so it's this big old setting, right? You have this big beautiful mansion with these big beautiful settings, and then you have certain ways that certain rooms are illuminated, and then it's like a big thunderstorm happens, but you can't tell me that this big place ain't got no generator. But anyway,
I know.
We're gonna let we're gonna like go for the sake of the film.
Yeah, they probably have an industrial generator with its own building. Like that's what I would imagine.
No, seriously, like stop playing with me, because the way that they were saying it, that not only is he stupid rich, but Amanda Steenberg's character is stupid rich. So like y'all got a generator.
This is the like kind of like not rich kid of the bunch.
Right, not rich kid of the bunch. And I'm just like, okay. But y'all ain't got no generator. That's cool. We gonna let that go for plot reasons.
Cool. They got a gym, but they don't have.
Right, you got this big old gym.
Huge. That was a full-size basketball court. That was not.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I was like, okay, y'all play bocce down there. Anyway. Stop playing. Like, or like, you play the little thing on the walls. You go back and forth. Like, come on. No generator though. But I like that it was this huge setting. We don't know the layout of the house, so that's a mystery. So I like that. I like that you didn't know what you would expect going into like different rooms or how things happen. But I do like that it is like a comment on like a social commentary about like how Gen Z or like, that generation jumps to conclusions probably based off of what they see on social media. Because how would y'all immediately jump to a killer? Like, I'm just saying, like, nobody called the cops or nobody, like, I just don't get.
If you take.
I mean, I get it. No. I get the what's in the story for them to kind of like think. But I really think that if I was in a room full of people and then one of us like got our throat slit, I would be like, oh snap, we need to go for help. I'm not going to think that there's a killer in the house, but also it lends to the fact that these people don't know each other as well as they think they know each other.
Right.
So that makes sense as well. So it's a commentary on like, are you actually friends or are you social media friends? Do you guys actually talk, or do you just play? Do you fake talk to each other? So to me, that aspect of the film was like very interesting, and I was very into that. But when they started getting into like social media buzzwords and all, like I was just like,
right, like it was like
his politics lined up. I thought that was an odd line. Like I thought it was kind of
and I was like, when it got to that part, I was like, the kids don't talk like not even just kids, But like, even people in like their late 20s, early 30s, however it is, you know, tweens, they don't speak like this. Like this was like Dawson's Creek level thesaurus type speech. Because on one end you're making fun of them for being like social media kids who do drugs, and then on the other end they're like highly intelligent in conversation with each other. They know politics, they know what's going on in the world. It's just like, I mean, I guess you can be both, but it's just like, which one we talking about right now? Are they stupid or are they smart?
Well, I would argue that both is true. Yeah. It's a peanut
butter jelly sandwich. They both just put it together. It's a peanut butter jelly sandwich. But I will say this: anytime Pete Davidson is in something, I kind of roll my eyes.
Oh,
so
poor Pete.
Sorry, not sorry, but it's because it's like it's one of those things where it's like Denzel Washington essentially plays the same character, but I believe it every single time. Right? It's different settings, but it's like I believe it every single time. It's something about Pete Davidson's voice that I'm like, he's never different. It's there's no different inflection. He's always like the wise,
I think what baffles me the most with
angry
him
person
is that he played the young guy on SNL for so long, like he was the kid on SNL for so long, that to see him in this movie where he's supposed to be kind of a kid still, he's supposed to be their age. I'm like, Pete, no, you're not. You're not their age, man. You didn't grow up with these people. I'm sorry. No. You are 30.
Just because he's tiny, I mean, like, because he's tiny doesn't mean he can pass for like a young 18 to 25-year-old. And I'm just kind of like, and honestly, Amanda Steinberg for me don't even pass for that. She's been in the game too long for me to even believe an ounce of like her being this. So like, you know, I agree with Brian. I did like B, even though she lied. But I mean, she's lying off of her own like insecurities because, you know, this, you know, about this
the normal lies like you might do in a friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like, I'm just saying that in the sense that like a lie is a lie, regardless of if it's something that you normally do.
Right.
So she's, for me, the way I looked at it in the film, she's a step away from being them. Because if you see it, she came in with like, I'm of my own mind. I don't drink. I don't do this. And that slowly changed once people started to warm up to her. She started to drink a little more. Right. She started to dance a little more. She got into the smacking game, which I was like, never me. You can never do that to me. I'll never play that game.
No.
I'll play werewolf all day. I love werewolf. I'll play werewolf all day. But just smacking me in the face, stop the press. I will punch you. I'll start fighting. Like, you gotta smack me in the face.
Or if you're Greg and you get punched in the face, you'd be even more upset.
Yeah.
Listen, and that's another thing too. Like, did everybody like each other? Like, everybody loved each other. Everybody wanted to be with each other. Like, it was such. No. I felt like it was such character things missing from it that they dropped hints about, but never really sealed up. But I liked the film, but it didn't rank high on the list of things that I like. You know.
That's fair. I want to bring up something Janine mentioned. She said, I saw it as self-perceived intelligence. They were parroting what they see online rather than actually understanding it, which I think is a really good point.
I get that.
Because that's what vapid, rich, you know, this is the trope. Like, we're talking about rich kids. It's not just Gen Z, right?
They haven't even really lived the life.
Right.
It's rich Gen Z.
It's rich Gen Z, which means they're completely babied. They have everything handed to them.
Even more removed.
Right. And so everything in them is through that lens, right? So for me, there's also the generationalism. So there's the idea that Lee Pace's character is probably 35, 40, maybe even older. He might be even older than that. But he's the boomer. And who do they end up ultimately blaming for everything? The boomer, right? The Gen Xer or whatever. So they totally go after him. Definitely a generationalism there. But I still love the idea that all of these kids, I think this could happen to most groups of people, but I think the fact that there was a lot of cocaine involved had a lot to do with the paranoia. There were several people doing coke, not everybody, but they were also drinking and whatnot. I think what I liked the most is I believe that, what was his name? David's character would do something so profoundly fucking stupid. I believe it.
Yeah, that part I did believe.
And I loved it. And I was watching Pete like try to take the thing off and cutting himself the neck. I laughed so fucking hard. I was like, this is brilliant.
The moment that scene started, you knew. And the camera cuts on, he's like,
"Oh yeah, you saw it. You're like,
you knew, like
I said, y'all went through all of this. All these people died because he's stupid. I was like, that's hilarious.
But like, stupid begets stupid, right? That's the whole concept. Is this stupid guy triggered a series of stupid events among highly paranoid, highly vapid, highly self-absorbed rich kids. And there's something fun about watching that. I don't know. There's something fun about watching them off each other.
I get that.
For me, I don't know. And, you know, maybe it's because I've never even sort of been kind of rich and always kind of, you know, we all wish we could have grown up a little
the way I think about it is like, what if I took people that I know on like TikTok and stuff and put them in a room? Like, how like crazy would that be if they were in that situation? That's like what I pictured. It's just like, you know, it's not going to go good. Like these people don't know each other.
Does that make me Lee Pace? Like... Am I Lee Pace? Is that good?
Like, even with that, I think like we would like, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, just in this group here, like we've all kind of like met via TikTok, and we're like multi-generational, and but we're not like that. Like, I know we've all lived like real world stuff. You know what I mean? Like we've lived like actual lives.
Like, if one of us died, I don't think we'd be like, Snitty did it.
Exactly.
I think we would be like, what's going? Like we would be like.
Totally.
Let's call the cops.
You stay here, keep pressure on the wound.
Right.
Number one, nobody did that.
Let's pull our resources and figure it out. I was just like, okay. Like, all right.
I think everybody on that in that house wanted to kill people other than Greg. I think the rest of them really just always wanted to. And it just, you know, they got to. Poor Greg.
I'll be honest, I feel bad for Greg.
The dude was literally doing nothing wrong.
But the story, I love Greg, by the way. I was like, he's the best character. Him and B should be best friends. But I was like, they were great. But I think like, I mean, this was a great film, and I understand what they were doing. But I also want to see the film where it's literally about their characters. Because everybody seems to have interesting character like traits. Like the one girl, they're always like, she's an actor, so she cries all the time. She's not real. I would have loved to see her progress to something real. Amanda Steenberg character is like super rich, but had to go to rehab because they kind of forced her, but then they won't let her forget that they forced her. Like, but I did get help, but you still want me to be the same person I was when I was on drugs and I was drinking?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what you, and then it's like, because she made a fair point. She's like, y'all know I went to rehab and y'all still doing drugs and drinking around me. Like, y'all don't care.
Yeah.
Like, for real, y'all don't care.
She would have been better off finding a new friend group.
And of course, I'm going to fall off the face of the earth too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
I'm trying to get better.
And she was like, they trigger her, and you can have some of the best friends in the world, and they can trigger you, and you might have to leave them. So to me, outside of the like satire of the social commentary, I would have loved to just see a movie of these people like figuring their shit out, because like those backstories were very interesting, because it seemed like David and Emily, what's her name? I don't know about her name. The girl who died from the pills and falling down the stairs, whoever that girl name is, I don't know her name. I just made up a name. I just threw a name out there. But
Emma.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Emma.
I was close.
I mean, there's only like 7 people in this movie.
It was either Emma or Emily.
Right?
I was close though. But like David. Oh, go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
No. Well, I was just like, I thought like having us only know like surface level things about these characters is part of like the point, and how we had to like, it's forcing you to sort of draw conclusions on your own about these characters that are probably may or may not be true, etc. Like I thought that was like part of it, and like if you explained any further, you know.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what the text.
I would have loved a side story of all that. I just found that interesting. I love digging deep into people's like issues and what's going on. I would have just loved the drama.
Let me throw this out there as an idea, because I've always thought it would be an interesting concept for a series of films to do 3 films, but each film having the exact same characters approaches it from a completely different genre. So you have, this is a horror film. The second film would be a drama, because it'd be the fallout of them going to psychiatrists and all the shit of, you know, going to jail for everything they did. And then you could make the final movie an action movie where they're blasting their way out, you know, Devil's Reject style. It could be interesting, but that could fit.
I'm not mad at that, Smitty. I like that. I might steal that. I'll bring you aboard, but I might steal that.
No, please. I'm not making movies anytime soon, so that's
Who knows?
I want to see somebody try a multi-genre series of films.
I'm gonna do it. Don't worry. I got
you.
Great. I'm gonna bring you on board.
I like it.
Ty and Brian can come too if they want to come.
Yeah, please. Oh, I thought you said they had something. I misheard you. I'm sorry.
We'll tag in the cinematography.
Ooh.
Yeah, I need somebody I can trust on the cinematography. I just can't be anybody.
So
Deacons might be busy that day, so you know, Brian's my next choice after Deacon.
There you go.
Do you guys like the fact that this movie played on your expectations and decided to do a completely different ending than most horror movies would try?
I did not.
You
I
did
totally.
not.
Like
As soon as that ending came on, I was like, I pretty much was like, "You movie, how dare you? Like, this is the dumbest. Like, this is just one big punchline. This whole movie, which I mean, and like everyone's made great points and everything, but still, I'm just like, I can't get over it. I'm just like, nope, no, like,
no, I don't like how the film ended, and I couldn't tell you how I want it to end. I just know I didn't want it to end like it did.
Yeah.
So,
I have service.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the end of the film.
I love that line though because it sums up the movie, right? Like they're just
like they're like, oh yeah,
to be.
I'm a little, but also part of me still believes that even though David cut his own throat, I still feel like there was a murderer because Max walked in too calm, saw a dead body, and just looked at them.
Right.
I said,
like, why does that guy look so familiar? Was he? I feel like was he in Hell House?
He was in something.
Connor O'Malley, Palm Springs.
I could have swore, or there's an actor that looks just like him in Hell House. But
that actually would be really crazy.
I'm not seeing him in Hell House.
Whoa, is that?
I mean, he's a white man with brown hair. That's pretty much typical. That's like every man that was in House LLC. You know? Like,
no, you're not wrong. They all white. I haven't gotten to 2015 yet. Weirdly. Okay, he's not in Hell House.
Oh, okay, I was like, man, this dude looks a lot like him.
He does. He looks like Alex, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. So. Do you think that A24 is still doing a good job with horror, where they're trying to kind of branch and not just always make shock horror? They're not
like
all
I'm excited for that next one coming up. I can't remember the name of it now.
Talk to Me.
Talk to Me. Yeah. Like I want to see that.
The one that was made by those YouTubers. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I got a screener to that actually. Nice. I gotta check my email about that.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I signed up for something through A24 to get. Yeah,
they do great deals on screeners too. They'll even give you discounts, which is great.
I think I got something. I honestly like the fact that A24 is trying to be different with their approach to horror. Like, even if I'm like, nah, that wasn't for me, I don't want them to stop trying to do new things, because you need to crack the genre in half a little bit, maybe dip in and add some more stuff. So I like what they're doing. This one just didn't hit all the way for me. It hit in certain places. It just didn't hit all the way for me, you know.
Yeah, same.
That's fair.
I don't know like you said, like it just wasn't for me, you know. Like there's like a whole bunch of people like love this movie, you know what I mean? Like people love this movie. And
if it wasn't for me, I'm not the target audience then, you know what I mean? Like it's just not for me.
Right. Tyler, you were gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just like, I think it being an A24 movie helped me go to because when I saw the trailer originally, I was like, this is looking corny. Like I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
So Batsy says, Batsy says she wishes there was an actual killer.
Yeah.
But how typical would the movie have been with an actual killer? Like it would have just been run of the mill.
Honestly, if B was the killer, I would have dug that. I would have dug if B was the killer.
That would have been like.
I would have dug that if she was the killer.
Yeah.
Or what if B and Greg were the killers and she fake killed him?
Because I thought she was. Because I thought she was a killer. I thought she was the killer. Like when there was like a faux killer, I thought she was the killer because I thought that she knew way more about them than what she was supposed to know.
Right.
Like I don't know.
She still had some secrets that we didn't know.
Yeah, like
I think she was paying attention to what Jordan or what DeSophie was saying about them, and paid close attention and embodied that as she talked about them.
And also, there was moments where what happened when they were like when she was like when Jordan was like, check her phone.
So she's trying to say that Sophie's lying to her all the time, which is fine, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Right?
But that's my thing, though, right? You still looking for a killer, and y'all fighting over a phone?
Exactly, you fight over these like little petty.
Because they didn't know, and then she's like, show me your text messages. There is a murderer, and you want me to show you my text?
Like, come on.
Come on now, I'd have been left. This relationship, we've been done. You took me to a murder house. I'd have been done with this. I'm like, no.
That's fair. The mud, I liked how much mud there was from the hurricane. I think they did a good job of transforming the outside of the house with that.
I love I just love the sprinklers came on. That's not going to help us.
So that part, that's a nitpicky thing for me. The sprinklers came on and then her cell phone got service, but I'm like, wait a minute. Is the cell phone tower literally right here on the same grid?
Right, exactly. Yeah,
or is it way over there in a different grid? Like, doesn't seem like it would have happened all at once. I don't know. That's a nitpicky thing, but anyway.
Yeah.
Let's rate this film. We've got a whole other film to talk about before we get to the end of this season. Why don't we start with Brian? Bodies, bodies, bodies.
It's a 6. Like I there's, like I said, the cinematography and the filmmaking, I really appreciate that, and like loved that approach, just trying to like, it was such a creative, problem solving kind of thing they had to do with it. And it was different and it still looked great, but it's just, yeah, even on the second watch, I really tried. I'm sorry. I tried to like it. But
all we can ask is that you try. That's what the real study's about, is trying. You don't have to like it, just try it.
Yeah.
So how about you, Tyler?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna give it a 9. Yeah,
I love it.
I liked it a lot. I'm gonna pull back and because I think I when it first came out, I think I really liked it. I rewatched it.
Yeah,
I liked it more. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
No, that's awesome.
It was good.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was just
yeah.
Because I might just be closer to I'm not that generation, but I'm not
you're a young millennial, right? So
right.
Yeah.
Right.
94. So yeah, about there. I think that's why it's cool.
Yeah, I'm an old millennial.
How about you, Law? Speaking of which,
I'm basically Greg.
Yeah. I'll give it a 7. I there were aspects I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed House LLC. So there were elements. I mean, they ain't the same film, but there were elements that I liked. There was some stuff I didn't like, and there were some scenes that really made me chuckle out loud. And I was like, oh, I didn't know this film was gonna do that. That's nice. So that was, I'll give it a 7. I'll probably watch it again somewhere maybe in October or something, and just give it another go around. Maybe pull up Brian and see how it went.
Show somebody else the film, see what they think.
Still feel the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what they think. Just watch them watch it like a creep,
I love watching people watch movies, so it's a thing.
I watch reactions on YouTube all day.
I constantly try to make my wife watch movies with me so she doesn't watch me, because I tend to sit there and be like, stop watching me. I like doing it, but I don't like it when people watch me. I'm gonna be with Tyler on this one. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think it is not a 9, but an 8, so it's a very solid rating.
No, yeah, we heard you 9.
8. So he's trying to pull me to the 9. I'm gonna keep it at an 8.
We literally 6, 7, 8, 9.
We did. I think this movie will catch an audience later. I think that there's something about it where in 5 or 10 years, it'll be looked back on as a really great social comedy. We already kind of said that, but I think it'll catch an audience later on. It'll become a cult classic of sorts.
Later means nothing financially committed. No.
I know. But I also want to come back and defend Pete Davidson in this film. I think he plays an asshole to perfection. I hated him.
No, I think he was really good.
And
I don't think
he was gross.
He
was gross and icky.
Whenever I hear his name, it gives me pause to check out a film. I didn't watch his film to the podcast.
He literally says,
I didn't watch his film into the podcast.
I look like I fuck. That's what he said. And I was just like, God, Pete, that's disgusting, dude. Shut the fuck up. That's just too much.
I think I felt like they put that in there for him because he is, social media wise, he's known as this weird looking dude that somehow gets beautiful women to go out and be with him. So
because he has money.
I think they wrote that.
It's money. I'm sorry. It's
the women that he's with has more money than him.
Yeah,
so it doesn't.
That was my thing.
It doesn't. He was with Kate Beckinsale and stuff. He's been with some women that you're like.
So ladies like it when they make you laugh, when you make them laugh. So there's an aspect of.
And he probably has a big dick, like Kim Kardashian said. I'm just saying.
So this is the really real study.
I'm funny but
he's funny and he can have sex really good. I mean, those are two factors that most women are top notch.
So what you're saying is that was an ad-lib line. It was really just Pete Davidson talking about himself.
I feel like it was either an ad-lib line or they wrote.
Yeah, they just happen to be rolling the cameras. That happened.
He's just saying that to the actress. I like to, just.
And then he said, and they were like, action after he said it. They were like,
yeah,
keep the scene going.
Anyway,
I didn't know you guys were rolling.
If you haven't checked out Bodies, it is available on Showtime. It's an A24 film. Most of their films are on Showtime, so check that out. Not that we haven't spoiled it for you. That said, we are going to move on to our final film of the evening, and that is Evil Dead Rise. Now, we, of course, did a full Evil Dead show, which you can catch on YouTube here if you go back into our history. We watched every one of the other films, so this is the only film the Real Study hasn't done for the Evil Dead series. Yeah. And we were all here for that episode, right? Were you here for it, Tyler? Were you here for the Evil Dead episode?
Pretty sure it was.
Okay, perfect. So that means we've seen them all. That means we're literally just picking right up where we were. And Tyler, I haven't had you go first. Oh, you want me to go first, or does Tyler want to go first?
Yeah.
No, you can go first.
Okay. I don't know if you guys want me to go first. Okay, so
get the bad review out of the way. Go ahead.
We are going to get the bad review out of the way. I hate. I don't use that word yet often. This movie, and it's no offense to the filmmakers in the sense of they did a good job with camera work. They did a good job with two. I lost two. That's a first.
Go for it.
I couldn't find the button fast enough to do it.
So
I was like,
look, the special effects in this film are phenomenal. The gore factor is right up where I want it to be. The actress,
blood.
The main actress. I know, and they used more than the other movie, but I think they used it more. They used it more creatively in the 2013, in my opinion. Now, I liked the Shining nod. You know, they did a little nod to the Shining with the elevator scene, which is great. But also, we already have the Shining, so we don't need that scene. So, look, I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead series. So when I heard there's another fucking book and there's like priests from Europe that have come to LA now, and they're buried under the stupid fucking building and an earthquake that's totally pointless, that isn't big enough for the one that they show in the movie. Sorry. That is not a 5.5 earthquake. I've been in plenty. Anyway. It bothers me.
That sounds like the sprinklers came out at the end, kind of.
Yeah, it's just so I can seriously sit here and layer out the reasons I hate this movie. The opening scene, while clever, I love the cleverness of it. It's a one-off clever thing. It's like the Iron Man twist, where you're just like, oh, I'm not really the Mandarin. Once you know, it fucking ruins it. So as soon as I watch it this time, I'm like, this is a drone, and this is stupid. This is not the Evil Dead, which is what I wanted. I wanted it much lower to the ground. I wanted it way shakier. And they just give me this stupid drone opening, which means it's the only Evil Dead movie without an actual Evil Dead opening, which bothers me. There's another book. It's not even called the Necronomicon. I don't know. There's nothing. Not only that, you take everything else away and just add the fact that they put a little kid in this, which, no, they didn't need to do that. All I did was felt bad for the little girl the whole time. I just felt bad for her the entire time. I didn't actually get scared or grossed out. I was just like, this poor traumatized child. Even the actress who had to stand in an elevator full of blood. Like, I don't know. It just, nothing about it sat right with me. And I don't think turning it into a family was a good move. I think taking it to a family was a shock value move, which is, I don't know, it's cheap to me. There was nothing, I don't know, in the giant.
Well, it didn't sit with you because you're supposed to rise.
The amalgamation creature at the end. I don't know.
I was wondering if Tyler's gonna get one.
I'm gonna give Alyssa Sutherland deserves lots of recognition for this role. She brings it. She brings it completely, and she's amazing in it. But it still doesn't. I don't know. It still just doesn't. I don't know. I genuinely. I tried twice, and I cannot. I will not be watching this movie again. Tyler, what did you think of Evil Dead Rise?
Oh, so the follow up now?
Yeah, you said you wanted me to go first.
I'm sorry. You're gonna get support here, Tyler.
I enjoyed it a lot. Right from the beginning, when the I didn't care if it was crummy or whatever. I was like, this is metal, bro. The fucking title sequence.
That was sweet.
Throwback.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, it had nothing to do with the next part, but that's fine. Like, that was cool.
That was cool.
I'd like the scalp getting ripped off. That was nuts. It was loud. Yeah. You didn't like Rat King at the end? Rat King? My God, that was nuts. I was like, ugh, gross.
Yeah.
I love the Shining thing. I thought it would have been bad if they didn't do some reference to that.
Right. Like totally. Like I'm kind of the same way, because it's like, yeah, we have the Shining, but then why do any kind of homage or anything at all?
It was more like a copycat than an homage, though.
But it was like aggressive.
What else are you gonna do though? Like that's the thing.
I
Like,
mean, and I
every
would say
homage
in
is kind of a
film,
copycat.
copycats are like very close to being the same thing.
Look at Superman Returns is literally an entire movie of an homage to Richard Donner's Superman.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
But he
Tyler.
didn't spin around the earth and make you go back in time in that one. So, like, you know, just saying.
Doesn't matter.
Why would he?
I'm just saying.
2006.
Go ahead, Tyler, please continue with what you were saying.
Great, like Evil Dead things, like they like creatively, like the wiring in the elevator, like that was dope. I was like, okay, cool. They found a way to do it. Like,
I love that she didn't get raped in this one, so that was nice.
Oh yeah, thank you. I don't know what that would have. I don't want to know what
that
it would
was
have looked
great.
like.
It would have been a core. It would have been the chorus from the elevator, like how they did the branches for the girl in the 2018 one.
That was.
I was like, please don't. I was like, please don't do this to her. Yeah, in the original, I was like, please don't do this to her. When they strung her up, I was like, thank you for not doing this. My God. But go ahead, Ty. I'm sorry.
No. I did like that whole monologue where she goes up to the I don't know how the way she throws the egg too is just like.
Oh man. No.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
And like it was way more. I thought this movie, like, because I liked the new Evil Dead. That was like, but this one I think took elements from that and then took elements from what we like with the Sam Raimi one, where it's kind of goofy too. Like there's like it's funny. Like it was actually funny this time. Like this first one was not fun.
No, yeah, it was. Yeah, it leaned really dark and
really
heavy,
into like the
serious. But
heavy.
Yeah. Where this one, where she like the main, like the mom, basically, she was. Yeah, there's some campy stuff in there that she was like doing.
The cheese grater.
Oof.
That one hurt me. I did not like that one.
Listen, that's what I liked about a lot of the kills were just the because we're in this one setting, right? How can we use the things that we touch in everyday life?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You want to look at my cheese grater. I'm like
how deadly stuff is in your house. Like, yeah.
Like I don't even want scissors now.
Yeah, this movie does use a normal kitchen knife rather than that classic Scream kitchen knife where it's got the blade. They just use like a regular one, which isn't often.
And I'm here for that. I love it. It grounded these films to me in a way.
Interesting. Okay, Brian, what did you think ultimately?
Man, I love this movie. Yeah, it was so good.
So quick. I love it.
I especially love the drone. Like, I really love the drone shot more than anything.
Now, you have to admit,
just kidding.
Drones, much like the DJ
I'm not an Evil Dead purist, though, either.
Know,
like,
it's definitely gimmicky, and it will date the film over time.
That's the thing. But, like, I don't know. Like,
well, we got drones.
Right? Like,
drones ain't going nowhere.
Like, I don't
They'll
think...
change.
It wasn't... Yeah, like, I loved that it wasn't, like, fully this, like... Oh, we got this checklist. We gotta like check off every like Sam Raimi.
They still did though. They still did. Dead by Dawn, I'll Swallow Your Soul. Like you can literally go down a checklist of everything that's in all the Evil Dead movies. They made sure to hit those.
So. Right. There's like subtle, but they did it in like a more of a subtle way though. Like I didn't think like who cares if they use a drone? I don't really care.
I don't know. To me, I like the idea of seeing the Evil Dead as the entity. But I think what you're missing. I'm sorry to step on you real quick, Brian, but I just want to say I think what you're missing is that what they show us in the film isn't technically the beginning of the film.
Right.
So at the end, we see the Evil Dead go into the girl that turns into the thing in the beginning. So that's actually the start of that story. So you actually do see the Evil Dead go inside of her and then the movie ends.
But that's the only time we see that. In all the other Evil Dead movies, you see that a lot.
Right.
It's always creeping around, but with an apartment building, how do you?
But I'm happy we didn't though. I'm happy we didn't though. But we didn't. I mean, they showed it to us, and then I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's all.
No, you're good. I respect it.
No, I love the look of this. Like it's shot so well. Like it's beautiful. I mean, like the cinematography is really great in this.
Mm-hmm. The lighting in this was wild. I love it.
Like so great.
Yeah.
Like I love the kills in this. I don't know, just everything. Like Tyler mentioned that like that title shot was so cool. Like was not expecting
with the rising, rising up,
and then it comes up. Like it was super cool.
The guy next to me, he was like, "Oh, I'm feeling a little rise right now."
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, oh.
Wow.
I don't know. Like I appreciated like a lot of the stuff that I did. I loved all the blood. I love the little like nod to The Shining, and yeah, just the fact that it was just like this, that it was this family, and there's like playing on a lot of those elements of like this family's been through a lot already, and now to just like, I mean, throw this stuff in there, and just like a lot of the there's a lot of great practical effects in this. I mean, there's literally like the shot where I think she was one of the sisters, where she has this thing coming through. I can't remember what it was, that's going through her mouth and out the back of her head. Like they actually made this thing for her to wear. Like it was, like it's in her mouth, and then there's something come out. Like I don't know how, and she's like drooling too, like the whole time. So like it's a real like. I mean, it's amazing with the stuff they did, and she had to actually like figure out a way to come down off of the counter in the like creepy way that she did. Like she actually does that. So there's a lot of great like physicality that these actors are doing. I mean, just like giving it. And like, this might have said a lot about me, but like the mom, the actress that plays the mother, she's gorgeous. Is it weird that I still thought she was like attractive after she was like?
No, because there are elements.
I don't know what
they're demonic characters or like other characters.
Yeah,
when they're painted up, I'm like, oh wow, okay. So no, you're not weird. I don't think.
But anyway,
so, but
I really love this.
I get it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. But again, like I'm not like an Evil Dead purist. Like I love them for what they are. I don't really, it doesn't matter if they're kind of like connected. So a lot of those like small things didn't take me out of it. But yeah, I enjoyed the ride.
All right, La.
I thoroughly enjoy Evil Dead Rise. It's the best of all three of these films in my book.
Strong words.
Like I said, no, it's the best. I saw this in the theater. I saw this in theaters. I thought it was amazing, especially on the big screen. You see all the stuff. But I mean, I'm pretty much going to mimic what Brian Ty said. But I love this film. I thought like aesthetically it was beautiful. I love that it wasn't in a cabin, even though it was. But I love that wasn't what the story was. I felt like they were like, we're going to give you some of the elements that you remember, but then we're going to take you to the left and bring you into a family that's kind of connected, but also disconnected at the same time, and just ruin their lives. And I thoroughly enjoyed that.
The fact too, like it's pretty much all women. It's all female.
Yeah, it's all female.
Yeah, we don't have a male protagonist or anything. Like,
there's the side characters are all.
I think this
male.
Right.
Well,
right.
those are male. So it's just like.
Yeah, they're not the main
they died swiftly and quickly, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the fact that the guy had a shotgun. I was like, finally, somebody just pull out a gun and let's go. Like I feel like it's showing the progression of like humans and their like paranoia, because it's like he just came out with a shotgun ready to go. When in another movie, like another Evil Dead movie, people were like, "What's going on, you guys?" And then they just died. It's just like you didn't hear all this commotion, you didn't grab anything. So
here's another.
I don't know. What? Go.
No, please go ahead. No, please.
No, go.
Please. I don't want to stamp on it too much.
I'm gonna fight you. The moment I see you, I'm fighting you. But
will be a hug fight.
I thoroughly enjoy
hug fights.
Remember we were talking about Evil Dead
to death. Yes.
To death.
No, I love this film. To death. No, I love this film. I thought it was I just thought it was fun. Like Ty said, I thought it was like a lot of fun. I thought it was like I like a little funny with my horror. That's why Nightmare on Elm Street is like one of my favorite series, because that's like
I laugh way more with
like,
those movies.
I love, you feel me? Like it has elements that are like that's creepy or that's innovative and but it's funny and it's campy.
Like,
come on, he's hilarious and I love it. So to me, this film had that, but then it also has some moments where the sister was like, "This is your fault. This wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you." Like, and now this boy has to. No, non-binary. I believe they were non-binary. Has to deal with the fact that they killed their mom. Like they are essentially responsible for everything that is happening inside this building. And I love that you can hear Ash's voice on one of the records. He's like, no, don't play this. Like, burn it, throw it away. Like you can hear him.
That's what
you can hear him. Yeah, you can hear him in the audio. And I thought that was a cool little tie-in. And so, and it is. I like the fact that it's a family, but I like movies where I can move. I can move in the movie itself. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you? I'm like, little girl, that is not your mom. You just saw her do some weird stuff. That is not your mom. Do not walk towards the door.
Well, she
That is
learns
not
her
your mom. You
lesson
can't
at
do
least.
this.
She at least says it later. That's a nice
She
thing.
does, but she had to get choked to learn that lesson.
No, I know, but
still,
you know, sometimes you got to get choked to learn a lesson. Like that's
because
just that's
because
life.
at this point,
Had a
it was
nipple
like,
every time.
and then it's just like funny moments where the girl's like, you're gonna be a great mom, Cass. You know how to lie to kids. Like,
okay, so
she do.
I want to throw out.
Yeah.
I want to throw out 2 more gripes and see if you guys have anything to say about these.
I love a gripe.
So
Yes,
number
right.
1,
Yes,
sister on the road taking a pregnancy test. Like they could have put that pregnancy test situation in the bathroom at the home after she showed up, had them knocking on the door and created an element of what are you hiding from us. There could have been some of that. This whole like she's on the like who cares? And they kept like sucking up this time with talking about her being a groupie. Like who gives a shit if people are dying around you? Who cares if you're a groupie or not? Like that's dumb. The other part I really have a problem with is that every other Evil Dead movie, with the exception of Army of Darkness, is completely ambiguous about when it takes place. So if you look at even 2013, the cars in the movie are, from different years and different decades. The characters are wearing very, generalized clothing that could be from the 70s all the way through the 2000s. And there's no way to know when it is, and they don't say when it is. Same thing with the original. They don't talk about when it is. They don't talk about other than where it is, which is Tennessee. And you get this element of this could be any time and any people. With this one, it's LA and it's these people. And it's kind of the one element that kind of isn't a through line for all the other films, which I like because it makes them timeless. This one will be dated. It will set in its time of 2023 forever because of that. So that's just a little gripe, but
Can I take this real quick? Okay, so first gripe, I would say, they don't really talk about her being a groupie like over and over again until she's possessed, because the demon knows that it can antagonize her by calling her
it's a
groupie
thing to pick at.
because she never liked it. Now in the beginning, when this child did like do the album and all that type of stuff, they talked about it because she was like jabbing her, she was joking with her, but also I think it lends into their relationship because she's always on the road and she doesn't listen to her messages and she doesn't know what's going on with her family. So not only is she like jabbing her sister to joke with her, but she's also very seriously jabbing her because they have to leave this condemned building and you don't know that, and you just showed up on my doorstep and you don't know that because you're a groupie that's on tour that don't listen to my messages and don't know that I left my ex-husband in which you bought a gift for. So it lends into this like we're sisters but we're like disconnected.
So, yeah.
Dude, I don't know. The child plays with records. The car that they drove in was very old-fashioned. I don't think it's too much to be like.
But the other ones are dated though too. Just from the fact of when they were shot, they're dated.
Sure. I'll give you that. I'm not gonna. That's not what I mean.
You couldn't. For me, tell, it's not a timeless thing.
So
at all.
In 1981, while they're driving an 81 Oldsmobile, that could be a classic that they're driving, and yeah, it's shot in an old film. But the clothing they wear is still just kind of just blue jeans and shirts. It's not, they just kind of wore what they had, obviously, in the first one. But in the 2013 specifically, they really went out of their way to make it feel like could be in 81, could be in 91, could be in 2001. There's no way to really know. So I appreciate that element. But I do hear what you're saying. That does make sense.
I don't know. That doesn't really bother me because I feel like in 10 years from now, I could watch Evil Dead Rise and not be like, ugh, this took place in what year? Like, I don't think I'll like pay attention to that element. I know. I don't think, and also they don't like with their words and what they're saying. They don't go pop culture-y. They don't go too deep into what the time period is for me to be like, oh, this is like I said. They don't go too deep though, but it's not so much to the point where it's like where I feel like it won't be verbiage that we still will use throughout like the ages in a sense because everything does come back around.
True.
In a sense. But I thought this film was great. I thought it was funny. Alyssa Sutherland deserves everything. The physicality that she used. My favorite scene is when she comes out the bathroom and she looks to the side. That's the funniest thing. I know she has so much fun playing this role, and you can see the practical makeup like on her face. I know they added some things like CGI wise, but like there's a lot of practical makeup on her hands, on her face, on her body, and then when the kids get possessed,
it's not an Evil Dead movie unless they dump 5 gallons of blood on your face. Like it's like that's part of
it.
It
has to be.
You sign contracts saying
that they didn't have enough blood, possibly.
But there was more blood in this one than 2013, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I have a gripe. Actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys felt about
there weren't enough fart jokes.
There were 0.
0 fart jokes.
There was none. I actually thought I thought the earthquake thing. It's not even a gripe. This is what I just wish. Like I thought the earthquake thing was going to build up to the ending where they were going to be in the parking lot because there was this hole right in the movie where there was a hole and they went underground. I thought there was going to be a hole that was going to open up at the very end, and we were going to get like a modern day Army of Darkness, and I was like, let's go, like a portal. I thought they were about to do it. I was like, oh damn, this would have been perfect.
I didn't even think about that.
Like that would have been honestly, that would have been cool if like I think that would have been cool. That would have added like the extra supernatural aspect, like the time travel aspect that Army of Darkness had.
Yeah,
I think that would have been cool. I'm just like a big fan of like, not a big fan of like going into. I always say this, and this is no disrespect to my Caucasian friends. There's no disrespect, but this is why the films like this are always led by white people, because Black people do not go in holes after an earthquake to look at things.
No, 1000%. It is the kids' fault.
Right.
They screw up so bad.
Then it's like.
Can't tell you how many holes I used to be on the street. I was like, ooh.
If we did go into a hole to go research, because we are inquisitive people as well, we might be like, oh my God, the moment we saw crosses, we would have turned around and walked away. We don't play.
Or a book with teeth. Like, I'm good. I'm not picking up a book with teeth. Man.
No, we wouldn't have gotten that far because Jesus came out and scared that child, and they just disappeared. They just walked away. Was like, oh, I got scared for a second. The moment Jesus would have appeared to me like that, you know what, Lord, you right, and I'm gonna go back up to home. Get this pizza. We gonna pick this pizza up. We gonna go on back into the apartment, help Mama pack. Cause no. But again, there wouldn't be a movie, even though we see the blackening. That was hilarious.
Why did he try to pry it open from the teeth? Why couldn't he pry it open at the binding or something, or like?
Because the teeth look like a lock. But the teeth look like it's like a lock.
Put on some leather gloves, man. Like, come on. Like,
I mean, you're expecting that. I don't know, not open it. Just don't open it.
This child jumped down a hole in a parking lot.
And once you saw all the demonic shit,
do they care?
No, about all
they don't care.
No, with white kids, I get it. Like the climbing in the hole thing. Like I find that to be normal.
Like time to hop on.
You are not wrong about white kids, man. They'll do it. But as soon as it got back to the house and you opened it up because blood got on it, get that the fuck out of here. What are you doing? And then, of course, the demonic stuff inside. As soon as you start flipping through it, why are you putting on records? What are you fucking thinking?
Also, he's a DJ. I have a gripe.
That bothered me too. There's records and he's a DJ. How convenient. Anyway, sorry.
No, I thought that too, but like it's a lot of conveniences in these films. Like there's a lot of conveniences across the board in Evil Dead films. So like we're not.
That's horror in general. It has to line up for it to work.
That's really convenient. But I do have a gripe. I really do. So I understand that they kicked her out the house and they thought that like she's out the house, right? You're gonna listen to the next disc, but you're gonna put the headphones on. You don't know what's happening in the house. And even if you wanted to put because at this point,
yeah, I know.
What else could happen if you just let this play live? She's already possessed. Right. Things are already going downhill.
You know it's gonna bring more.
And I guess, but at this point, at least take off one.
Right. I would not.
Like she listening to a new album of the year or something. She's like, girl,
I just want to get immersed in this.
Rocking out to it, right?
She's like, oh, okay, Damien. Hey.
So I have another simple little gripe, but this is actually more of a character gripe rather than like nitpicking the movie.
Come on, gripe.
The dude that recorded the 5 records or whatever it is. Could you put the warning on the first fucking record instead of the end of the last record where you get to the end and you're like, yeah, it didn't work. Nothing worked. Yeah, warn people at the beginning. Don't let them listen to come on, dude. Like,
You know what it was giving. You know what it was giving. It was giving like Doctor Strange when he was like, somebody should put warnings in that book. Like it was like somebody he didn't read the warning labels or something like that. He said when Kaisuke died, but like I agree, but it wouldn't be no movie.
No, I know. But I still think that it would have been interesting.
No, I get you though.
The one was if he did his due diligence and told people to avoid it, but maybe the one was broken or. No, there was literally just a reel-to-reel, and it was the translation from the original book from the guy doing the translations.
Well, maybe it's because he saw all the shit, and then by the end he was trying to just get it all out, and then by the end he's like, oh shit, don't, but also don't read it. Like, don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what it seemed like.
Sorry, there's a lot going on.
They said that this is the second. It's 3 of those books, and this is the second.
Well, which is hilarious because in Army of Darkness there are 3 that you see in the early times, but they're all Necronomicons. That's what I don't like about it. So I don't know.
But I mean, all books ain't called the same though.
No, but they call it Necronomicon, Book of the Dead, and then this one it's not good. I don't know what it is, but it's something weird, and it's then Book of the Dead. I'm like, how can the same book? I don't know. It just like, why are there 2 different names for the Book of the Dead? It doesn't make sense.
Because if you listen closely, there's like a whisper at the end. They're like the Book of the Dead.
There'd be multiple Books of the Dead.
It's just not the same book for sure. It doesn't even have the teeth. Like I don't know. I don't know. I have problems with this movie.
I want the next to come out. I'm excited for the next.
What did you say, Brian?
Why can't this be Volume 2, Book of the Dead?
I mean, it could be.
I mean, I'm here for it.
James Gunn's Evil Dead Volume 3.
I thought this was great. I also thought that. I don't say this a lot about a lot of films.
Your whole library.
I enjoyed the acting of all 3 of the young actors.
Yeah, no,
I enjoyed all 3 of their acting. It set a nice stage of, because I thought like when like the little girl was trying to get into the room, I'm like, oh, here go another like big siblings picking on a younger sibling, and it really wasn't. They like love each other, and I thought that I was like, oh, they're gonna die. This is sad. Like I knew everybody was gonna die, but I'm just like, but I'm happy that Cass, spoiler alert, I'm happy that Cass and the mom got out. Like the Cass and the young girl got out because. Well, Cass is a young girl. God damn it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm happy that the aunt and the niece got out because one, the child didn't deserve this. She was not a party to this. She didn't want to be a part of this. And then the aunt is finally about to literally get her life on track. She just got pregnant. I'm pretty sure that would have knocked her out of her groupie or road manager or whatever roadie phase, and she would have probably try to like settle down and kind of get more grounded. So I'm happy that they were able to escape. But yeah, I'm happy everybody else died because I was happy to see how it
I thought like if they didn't, them killing the sisters though made me worried that they were gonna possibly make that kid baby butter. I'm just saying, like I'm scared. Like I was like, is she about to get thrown in there? Like, are they gonna show this? Like,
oh no, they wouldn't do that.
Listen,
they wouldn't do that.
Like,
no.
Listen, that's no worse than her being like, Cass, mommy just wants your head or whatever she said to her. Jeez Louise. I was like, well, okay. I was like, that's a little.
This kid's
but I also like when that girl needs, she don't need therapy for the rest of her life. Now the next one should be her grown up being like chased by this.
She's cut her hand off. She has a chainsaw. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm crying.
Nobody lost their hand in this movie. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
What if they turn out to be like Ash's kids? What if Ash was the stepdad? What if Ash was the dad that she was with or something?
That's somebody. What if Ash was the stepdad?
And these were like Ash's kids or something like that. So that's why this was like drawn to them.
Why did the aunt need to be pregnant in order to care about the kids?
I don't think that was why she was pregnant.
Then why was she
pregnant? I don't think that's the reason.
What was the reason?
She didn't ask to be put out.
But like, what was the need? What was the need of the character?
I mean, why do you have to know that she's pregnant?
But why does the character need to be pregnant? What does it have to do with the film?
When a man and a woman love each other very much.
Buzz.
Please explain it, Brian.
Flappy wings.
No, I feel like the reason why she was pregnant, the reason why they had her pregnant in the script was to get her to that house.
Yeah. Right.
That's the only reason she was pregnant, because if she wasn't pregnant, she would have never went to go visit her sister. How about the tour stopped in LA and she
popped by? Like, I don't know. There are 1,000 other reasons.
No.
And then it's like, oh, she had cramps for some reason all of a sudden.
No.
There's more of an emotional reason for her to do.
So it lends to character development. It led to character development because she went there and she was like, I don't think I'm going to be a good mom. And she risked her life for all of them, which means that she would do that and more for her own kid. It's just character development. That's not a real gripe, Snitty. Again, I'm going to hug you to death.
So you can't breathe anymore. Just
Glatu, Brada,
Evil Dead. Thank you to Mickey, of course. I think we should rate this film and call it good for this season. We have done some great reviews this year. We have now done, I don't even know, we've definitely done well over 100 films on The Real Study, which is awesome. So yeah.
I don't know if they did this in the beginning of the video, but hey guys, follow us on all social media. Follow us on our podcast on Apple and Google and Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast.
We're gonna have a thread soon.
We will have a thread soon. Sub to us on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. Just sub all around. Join in our Discord. Come talk to us. Letterboxd. We're also on there where our cumulative rating is for these films. We do ask you guys to just come and chat with us, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or whatever social media platform you use. Come join our Discord to talk to us and talk about the shows that we all love. We have a lot of fandoms in there. We talk about Star Trek. We talk about Marvel movies. We talk about DC. We get deep into some obviously House LLC, some very weird horror, things like that. We go real deep into things, and also you can review. You can request stuff. Halloween. You can request some things. You can request TV shows and movies, and again, we have veto power, but we rarely use it because we want to see what you guys want us to check out and stuff.
Next season, we are going.
Thank you for being with us.
Of course, we love it and we do appreciate it. Next season, we're going to have Ray back. She is now a host of The Real Study. So she'll be here with us on a regular, she won't be here for the horror episodes.
It won't be for horror movies,
right? But other than that, she'll be here, or when she can make it.
I knew it, guys. They're kicking me off.
Nope. We're gonna have 5. That way we can go down to 4 if necessary. So yeah, I think she makes a great addition. Ultimately, we'll be doing the Terminator series, and then there's now rumors of Stranger Things getting a prequel series of Hopper when he was young. So I think the Stranger Things thing is going to happen. I think we're gonna totally
with Tyler.
Well, let me know because I gotta watch the series.
So I think next season we will definitely block out a couple of months where we're gonna just do a deep dive on Stranger Things because I think
Netflix, go ahead and finish Stranger Things first. Let's go ahead.
Exactly. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Before we do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a dumb idea
first, and then
before making plans.
But also, I think I don't like when they do prequels to shows like this or of any type of genre, really, when it doesn't really fit the narrative of the storyline. Mind you, I ain't never seen Stranger Things, but I know a prequel ain't needed.
Well, that's not going to fit the narrative. You're right.
None of the events have happened yet. Why do we care
they're
about?
saying about it's going to take place in 59 or some shit like that. What?
59?
Yeah.
How old is Hopper?
Well, that's 88 for the show, so go back.
I guess.
They would have been 9 or 10 or whatever.
For the preview, because I'm assuming you 3 have watched Stranger Things. My question is, did any of these supernatural things happen before?
They do bring up that era before. They do go to the 50s at one point.
Okay. And something supernatural was happening during that time too.
Young Sheldon, Stranger Things.
It's
I was
sort of
Young Rock.
Yes, ish. Yeah. It's I don't know. I if they do it right, it'll be good. If they don't, it's gonna suck. So
it's gonna be called Things.
Young Sheldon's fine, but it retcons way too much about Big Bang Theory, so that's the problem.
It does retcon too much, and it's you can't do that.
Right.
It's gonna be called Semi-Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I got to put it out there. I'm sorry, I had to put it in there.
This is gonna be called Weird Things.
Just things.
Kind of off things. Just
listen. Ty laughed at my thing. That's all. Ty laughed.
Well, sounds like I gotta go. You guys all have a great summer.
Wait, did we rate? We didn't rate yet. We gotta rate.
That's twice.
Oh man, yeah.
We gotta rate.
I must hate Brian because I didn't let him rate Twitch.
This is the last episode of the season.
We do have to rate. And I did go first, so I'll go first. I'm gonna give this 3.
I'm gonna hurt you.
It's a 3. And it only gets a 3 because I like the special effects. I really didn't like this movie. Brian, go ahead.
Damn.
I feel you, bro.
He's like,
All right,
tilted.
there's a 9. There's a
9.
for me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just out of spite.
It's a 10.5. Just
kidding.
because.
No. It really isn't. I mean, it really isn't. Like, I really did enjoy this movie in the theater, and I walked out, but like, really happy with it. So yeah, 9.
Nice. I mean, I'll give it 9 out of spite.
9
I'll give it
spites.
9. I'm gonna give it 9 drones. That's my
I love it.
That's my
So 9 drones. Okay, that's fine. Lala, what do you give it?
Out of spite, I give it a 15.
A 15? Nobody's ever given a 15 on the show.
Never given a 15. No, but for real, I give this 9 volume 2 Evil Dead. You know, I give it 9 volume 2.
9 volume 2s of the Necronomicon. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. Evil
I think
Dead,
it's a 2 now. I think it like
great.
lowered as you guys gave it ratings. So
Out of spite. Out of spite.
Just spite. What's
Counter-rated
1/10? So that's it.
So much
you know.
so.
Well, right now we're playing with the rating on the real study. So like the lower I go, it's gonna draw you guys down. So sorry.
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry, we'll continue to rise.
Yeah.
On that note,
in the Evil Dead style.
We had to lift up.
On that note, thank you to all of our awesome viewers: Janine, Kristen, Scott.
Yeah, thanks for hanging in there.
Let's see who else was here today. We've of
For
course
all
had
bad
Biggie.
jokes.
We've got Kyle that showed up.
Kyle,
wait,
I'm
there's
sure
somebody
Kyle
named
was there.
Tyler.
I can't see anybody.
Somebody named All the Movie
Tyler's in there.
Things. These are very nice people, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
thank you guys.
Thank you all for being here. And
We
for
want to
supporting
thank
us.
even people that have been here for a while.
Tyler, look out.
Summer.
Took the wrong one.
What is that? Peter Parkman. You know, Marley has been
Peter
here
Spider
for a few times.
Parker
Wilkins.
Man.
Yeah, Spider Parkerman. You know,
You guys know
I
it's
just
me.
wanna shout out a few people.
Okay.
That was. I just want to shout out a few people. You know, I love that name though. Spider Peter Parkerman. I love that. That's a solid name.
We will be back. I don't want to give a date, but look for us in September.
No, follow us on social media. You'll
get
see.
announcements.
Follow us on social
100%.
media, and you'll get the announcement. That's all. That's where you find it.
You see our individual socials talking about it.
100%.
So.
Follow
You
us
guys
on all
have
socials.
a great summer from the Real Study.
Bye guys.
Bye, guys.
Love you.